I typed it in the live chat, but you didn't see it.
I didn't see. And then got some.
I knew Leroy had his Santa hat, so that's why I put mine on. Leroy is the Mr. Ultimate lover of Christmas. I think he's the only person left who I know who likes Christmas. Are you a Christmas person, James, or not?
It dances.
Oh, I like Christmas for many reasons, but I do find, I even said to Yannicka, I dislike the pressure I feel to buy a present for somebody when I would just buy one anyway and then feeling obliged to. I don't know, I just feel, oh.
Yeah, it's too triggering for me, Christmas. I hate using that word.
I like the food. Fucking love Christmas dinner. It's amazing. Yeah. It's one of my favourite dinners of the year. I think most of us can agree on that, surely.
I live alone now, so no,
just go down. Yeah, but you can just go to a fucking like restaurant or something and go and get one.
Yeah, I'll go to my mum's house.
It's not the same. It's not the same for me. It's got to be home cooked.
Yeah, I know. But question then, Leroy. If you did find yourself alone for Christmas, would you submit and go to a restaurant to have one? If you had to,
I go and knock on a neighbour's door.
He's got the spirit of Christmas, like you said. That's the opposite. Like you knock at the neighbour, and the neighbour's like, "Come in," embraces you, and then does the Christmas dinner.
Oh no, he'd kick them out. He'd be like, "You out, my dinner now."
You done dinner? Yeah. All right, out then. It's fine. Yeah. I like you got the Coca-Cola there behind you as well. The proper holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. Yeah, like he's got it.
Yeah, it's not. Listen, it's not. It's still not Christmas to me yet because I haven't seen the advert.
Yeah, when's the advert going to come? I haven't seen it.
There's a big deal about this, isn't there? Something about they've got some shitty AI ad now, so everybody's kicked off about it. I think.
No, they've got to go back to the original, man.
It's got to be the original. It's got to be the original advert.
Used to be a big deal. The Coca-Cola one. What's the other one?
M&S.
Yeah, that is it. M&S where they used to spend like millions of pounds on getting
M&S would always spend a lot. Yeah, I think
I haven't seen anything. Not a thing.
But you know what? I realise I don't really see many adverts. Well, there is adverts on YouTube, but I do realise that I don't watch telly no more. And obviously,
I'm the same.
Yeah,
I'm the same.
So it's like
Netflix, Amazon. I don't watch anything. I don't watch telly.
Yeah. So where do you find these adverts now? Other than and YouTube's all geared towards you. The adverts that come up on there are based on your searches and what you spoke about. So it's now we spoke about Coca-Cola. Maybe later today we'll get the advert.
Yeah. Especially for Leroy.
Exactly. If we do, I'm tagging you. I'm going to say, look what happened.
I wouldn't want to see Dan's YouTube ads.
Oh, mate, you just order one Thai bride, and they think you need more.
Boxed up inflatable doll.
Yeah.
With a mouth like that.
A much smaller, like a whistle.
A little whistle hole.
Yeah.
What's happening then, gents? I can't even remember last time we did a podcast. We are hopeless at this stuff. But myself and Dan have had a chat. We've had a speaking to ourselves, and we are going to make it a regular thing in the new year resolution.
You've had a legitimate deep meeting about
the
trajectory of 2025.
Yeah, we've got forecasts of this everything. I can't think of anything.
Was the cuddles and hugs and kisses and all that, or just?
Yeah, I mean, sending nudes. It's all online now, Leroy.
Oh,
you have to give virtual hugs.
Yeah, Dan's got Excel sheets and Google Drive stuff and everything else. So we're all organised for content for the new year. I bought a tripod, new tripod for the gym.
Yeah, and do you do things over Loom videos like all the coaches, where you send a little circle of you talking to them? Hi guys, you're looking really good in your check-in. I think what we'll do this week is keep the potatoes the same. Cheers, guys.
I love that people feel the need for the circle on their face.
It's like looking for a little shit porthole, like Titanic.
A glory.
That's one thing we can discuss on today's podcast. That's what we call it, like tri-monthly podcast. Because there's things blown up about the coaching industry, isn't there? I saw something posted by Jordan earlier and stuff, and there's a few people kind of going in deep on this coaching bullshit, isn't there?
I had a big moan. I had a massive moan on it was on Fuad's podcast.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, just because I just think too many people have got too much money for doing fuck all.
Yeah, pretty true, to be fair.
Yeah, I just think there's a very disproportionate amount of. I feel like gone are the days where someone physically can train you and it's like very valuable and you pay them for that versus what sitting there and doing a Loom video and then making a lot more. I know, like, listen, there's going to be an argument for this, and there is a lot of coaches out there that are good. There are, but there are also a lot that have done one competition, came dead last, and suddenly are an expert.
Yeah, there are a hell of a lot more that aren't fucking any good than there are that are good. And unfortunately, we can't blame them. We can't blame the gullible twats that are listening to them and paying them.
That's what I said. I said the problem is because you guys out there are willing to give them your fucking money, and you're making them very wealthy. And then you're looking at their Instagram. You're looking at their Instagram, going, "Oh, look at the car he's got, and the house he's got, or she's got. I want to be just like them." And then you decide to start coaching too, and it's all just feeding itself because you're just a virus.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could go on about that easily.
I have, we've got an agenda.
Go on, then, let's say the agenda. I did.
Dan, do you want to do a pretend intro and all that stuff that we always do, what nobody cares about?
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. What fucking hell? Forever Hardcore. It's called, right?
Forever.
Hello, welcome back to Forever Hardcore Christmas special. We have. I can't believe it.
Dancing Santa.
We have the Anth Bales as Elf. iPhone.
No, this is Camo.
Camo Santa, I know, or Camo Elf. I know.
Camo Santa.
Camo Elf. Camo Elf.
And we've been lucky enough to somehow get Mr. Hollingshead in. So thank you for coming again.
Right. I'm not going to lie, I was in a balls deep in a game of Call of Duty and I totally forgot. And then Amp texted me luckily, and I was like,
oh, sorry, James. I do appreciate
no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm very forgetful, so I'm glad you did. It's the
man, I don't even like get games anymore. I was watching some of your stream. I think it was last night.
Yeah. Well, I was playing.
Were you streaming last night? Yeah.
I think I was playing.
I think.
Oh, was I playing? I don't even remember. I can't even remember yesterday, mate. I'm not. I'll tell you why I can't remember yesterday, but I'll tell you in a bit.
Oh, sounds dodgy.
Yeah. It's not any of those kind of drugs.
Oh,
okay.
It's still drugs, though. It's not those kind of drugs. Okay.
No, not those ones. I was. Do you know? And I know we got an agenda. You said.
Well,
I was sitting downstairs. I was sitting downstairs yesterday, and I don't even drink. And I was looking at my cupboard, and I saw the bottle of whiskey, and I was like, proper fancy some whiskey. So, and I didn't do it, but I'm just like, I don't know why. For some reason, at the minute, I'm really tempted. I think it's the time of year.
It's because it's Christmas. You got to drink whiskey and sherry.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm like, my liver's already screaming from the drugs getting ready for the Arnold. But I probably shouldn't put any.
Hello, tested and whiskey's got awesome combo.
Yeah, James, I'll show you what's tempting me.
Oh, come on, show me. You got the proper bar, man. Fuck, I'm gonna be. Look at all that. How could you? I would be pouring myself.
Leroy's getting hammered.
Cheeky bevy right now. Should have one on air. I feel like you should be having one now to celebrate. Can't you have one for the Christmas special right now?
Oh, I will do. I can go for one.
I'm not rushing you. Sorry.
You've got a cigar box, though, right? You've got.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Still waiting for my invite, Leroy.
You don't need an invite, Dan. You can go and knock my door anytime.
I'll just turn up.
Be a pleasure to have you down here.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't leave that room. I'd be in there.
I'm there.
All night.
We'll invade Leroy's man cave.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. We should definitely do that.
Yeah, Dan did actually send over an agenda. Is that? Can you guys hear that pinging off on my end? Or something?
No.
That's fine. It's just pinged up on my desktop, but I've got my phone on silent. Excuse me. Yeah, Dan did have an agenda. He sent it over on WhatsApp and everything. So,
and come on, Dan. Roll with it. Ignored it.
No, I went like this.
I've done my own.
I'm interested to see what it is.
It's not like interesting. It is interesting. It is interesting. And the first thing was obviously, it's been a while since we've done the podcast, but the newest news in the Hollingshead is the invite to the Arnold.
Hey.
Making me feel good now. Thank you, guys.
So we definitely wanted to bring that. Obviously, no one deserves it more than you.
No one, none of you. Anyway,
we're all buzzing to see that. But I wanted to know how you feel.
Feel good, man. It's like in your career, there's two shows you ultimately want to do, isn't there? And it's the Arnold and the Olympia. So to be able to say I've even done them already, and to be able to say I've got more opportunities to do it. I have to look at it from that aspect of just like glass half full rather than empty, like, because it's so easy to look at a show and be like, oh, I'm not happy with how I did it here, or blah blah blah. The fact I even get to go to it is already a fucking massive win, isn't it? Because again, it's invitational. I look back at my career and I'm like, I've done obviously enough to even be able to get the bloody invite. So you kind of got to acknowledge your own efforts, because it's easy to not. But things like it's a little reminder of what I've done already, and just makes me feel a little bit more what's the word, authentic, like I am actually a bodybuilder, because sometimes I forget I'm one. So so easily done. But yeah, no, I feel great. Like, and obviously this lineup's incredibly deep, even deeper than the previous. So I have to really, really work. But that's what you want to do, innit? You want to go into competitions that are good. Like when we used to do the British Nationals, like the finals, championships, and that, we knew we were going against people that are fucking good. Like we didn't necessarily expect to win, or if we did expect to win, we knew it was going to be a tough battle. And it's no different as a pro, really, is it? It's just doing it all over again. So you walk into a show, and you know when you first do one, you're not that confident, and then the more you do it, the more you slowly climb up the ladder, and eventually you find yourself maybe at the top. And it's just the same as the amateur league, really. So with different faces on it.
Well, the comment about you like forgetting that you're a bodybuilder, it's because it's like it's you, it's who you are. You're locked in, like,
We're
and
not
then
forced.
and then you saying, "Oh, I have to work harder." You just do you
It's
more.
true. Yeah, it's true. Because every time a show comes around, then you're like, yeah, I'll work. The truth is, up to this point in my career, I've worked fucking hard. And sometimes I've got a few friends in bodybuilding that look at me and see that I seem quite peaceful, and maybe I'm not like working as hard as they think. But this is just like my level face, my game, my face that's always on. It's hard to tell somebody that doesn't really know that when I go in the gym or when I eat, like everything's 100% when they don't see it in your face, because I can train and not look like I'm 100%, but I am 100%. So I find myself often questioned in my efforts.
Do you?
Like people that, yeah,
Like
like some people that, yeah, like people that know me, they're like, I just wish you'd really like lock it down, Jay, and really like give it your all. And I'm kind of like, so I'm not surprised by it because I know how I come across, but at the same time, I'm almost a little bit not insulted, but I'm like, well, you don't know me and you're not in my head, because if you were already competing for 15 years, I'd like to see a lot of you be able to be as composed as I am when it takes a lot from you and energy and stuff. Amp, you know, fucking, I think you can totally understand. So can you guys. It's it's always hard and it doesn't get easier. And then it just depends how long do you want to do it for. And because I've been doing it for pretty long, I just have to keep that face the same. It doesn't change.
Do you think it's cyclical, like the way? Because it's obviously they're interpreting the energy out. Do you think like how am I trying to say it? Just through like my training, I've gone through like phases of being a bit noisy
Yes.
sometimes, being a bit growly, then being super inward, then being super removed, then being very outward.
Yeah.
And like maybe they haven't seen that cycle part.
Yeah. I think, well, I think they compare me to what maybe I used to sound like when I trained. And again, you with people, aren't you? You change. Like the way that you hold yourself changes. It's not necessarily doesn't mean that your intent has changed, but the way you appear on the outside can look a little bit different. But I think that's just growing up. Like I don't think that's anything other than just maturing as a person and not wanting to have a. I basically just I don't try to create a scene. So like when I train, I'm just trying to focus on me. So therefore, if I'm not as like violent looking as I used to be, it's not because I'm not as violent as I used to be in my head. It's just that I'm just preserving energy for my sets. Like I'm just not as vocal as I used to be, which I don't mind. Like there might be a time, like you said, it's cyclical. I could in a year's time, I might resort back to a certain way of being because in the time it's the best way to be. And a lot of it comes down to your environment as well. Because like I probably was more kind of aggressive when I lived somewhere that made me feel more aggressive. So your environment determines how you are. Like I had a little bit of a shield around me because I'm in a more hostile place. Not that anyone's going to ever attack me or anything when I lived where I did, but the culture's different. So I'm different. And then obviously I'm here now where it's actually quite a lot quieter. So the way that I hold myself is a little bit different. And that's just being human, I think. I don't think that's anything other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. So.
Yeah, I've always been a noisy trainer. Like obviously not right now because I'm training like a vagina because I've got an injured arm. But sometimes when I do look back at some of the videos, I think, oh fucking hell, why are you making so much noise? But like just at the time, it was genuine.
For sure.
It just comes out and like I've got earphones in, so I don't really hear it type of thing. And then, oh fucking like, he was a very noisy vocal trainer as well. It is weird, isn't it? Like,
but it's also who you're with. Like I don't have anyone like you guys here. I guarantee if we had a session, the three of us, we'd all be like screaming, I'm in an hour, like having a good time. And again, it's who I'm around because I don't have anyone like that here. Therefore, that it doesn't bring that out of me. But if I'm in the gym with you boys, fucking hell, like I'm going to be screaming house down. Everyone's going to be looking over like, shit, hell, what's going on? Because I have a lot of fun when I do that around the right people.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame because I feel like I would like to be around more people that make me feel that way, for sure. Because I love it. I love when I'm bodybuilding and I feel like I have to be like hyper aggressive in a sense. Because again, as much as bodybuilding on the outside and in reality is quite not violent, really, it's just about training. You have to switch on that mentality that you're trying to destroy people because you've got people going against you. So the more you embrace that side of I'm trying to be a champion, the more vocal you probably get as well. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah, sorry, I'm waffling on because you know what I'm like. You knew what you was in for getting me on here, guys.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, that's kind of what I was, because I found that I go through phases. I think now I don't make so much noise because I'm much more careful.
Same.
Like more careful. Like if I let out a blur and I'm like fucking die, like that's probably when I'm hurting myself.
A lot of it's like what Amp said as well. Like I can't. There's certain things I can't train like I used to as well. So there'd be no point in me like roaring under. Like I can't even do a barbell squat at the minute because of this issue with my leg. So any other form just feels so much more pussy that it doesn't warrant it for me because I'm probably doing like a Rogers hip press or something where I can do a good set, but it's not going to make me really challenge to the degree of what the squats used to do.
Yeah.
And doing the squats, it always used to look cool as well. So part of it was image. I'm not going to lie. There was a bit of
no one else on planet Earth would admit that.
We could do that barking, like stay away from me. Or if you're not looking, fucking watch. See what I'm doing so you know. Because you're trying to like dominate your domain, you know, like I remember in Kings back in the day, obviously there's a lot of people with good physiques in there. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to look at this like everybody's trying to take my spot and I've got to be number one in London. So when I go in the gym and I squat, I'm like, if motherfuckers aren't watching me and applauding me, they're going to be scared. They need to at least be scared and want to leave the room. Like that was kind of my mentality then. So it was fun.
Leroy's a noisy trainer, and I mean that in a good way because it's very motivating. Have you always been noisy, Leroy, even when you were younger? Or was that like kind of that came? Because I know you had the whole army thing and all that kind of stuff. And
well, a lot of the time I used to self motivate. You know, and I did do it verbally. I couldn't really do it from the inside. I had to do it from the outside. So I did make a lot of noise. And you just send your mind. You send your mind into certain things, into certain areas. You know, you think of them coming to take food off your plates. You know, if you don't do the set, they're gonna fucking start. So it swings around the base, doesn't it? Like James says, it depends on the environment you're training with, who you're training with, what the atmosphere is like in the gym. You know, you go into some gyms and you cough and everyone stops and looks at you.
Yeah, it's like a library.
You're a fucking alien. So I think it all depends on what gym you're in and obviously the crowd around you, what their sort of mentality is and their attitude towards the training you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I've also found it depends what drugs I'm on. I'm not going to lie. That's just me being honest because people aren't, you know, like what part of prep am I on? Am I taking things like Trenbolone? You know, if a bit of Trenbolone's in my system, then I'm obviously going to be a little bit more, you know,
like that just makes you weird. That I remember.
Yeah, it does, dude.
When I hypothetically used to take stuff like that.
I hypothetically took Trenbolone.
I used to like imagine my hand like melting into the dumbbells and shit and fucking
fusing to them, and you can't let them go.
It's been a long time ago since we've done it.
I would have loved to have peered into your mind. I would love it.
You wouldn't, James. Honestly, I used to think about like running my dog over and stuff.
Yeah, you go, dude. I was you know, like training.
I miss those days.
A couple of days ago, we were training, and you know, it started to have one of them moments where I'm like, I was filming for YouTube, and I was like, you know what? This may mean this set means nothing, but it means everything. You know, that kind of mind state. So I was like saying, if you're gonna fucking do this, you got to make sure that what means nothing to anybody means everything to you. So just fucking do it. So I was just doing some Gymloco T-bar rows and just throwing the fucker around. It weren't pretty. It weren't as heavy as you'd like me to go, but it was one of them moments, like you said there, where you're thinking about things and you're taking it to your limit, I suppose.
Yeah. James, it doesn't matter if you had 9 plates on, I would say put 10 on. It's like if you put 10 on, then I would say 11.
Yeah.
Just to piss you off a little bit.
Do you think that one's quite heavy? I think it is quite a heavy machine, actually.
Yeah. Once
it's quite flat, isn't it?
1 to 2 is all right, then 2 to 3 feels a bit heavy, then 3 to 4. Like it seems every time you put a plate on, I know it gets like further away technically. It's fucking 5 plus is heavy.
Which one's this?
The Gymlico T-bar row. It's quite it's quite flat in regards to like a lot of them start like that. You know, like you get like the pre-core one and stuff. They're kind of like just there to there, so it drops off. This is like that. So when you put it to there, it's still really, really heavy. I like it.
I do like that one. Yeah. Gymlico are all like horrendously heavy. Like the setup, like the chest.
Oh, the hip press.
And the hip press. Yeah, the hip press has got no drop off at the bottom. It's like it's not a hip press. It's like
I got a graze on my back because of how heavy that is. Like my lower back, it literally rubbed the skin off my lower back. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's there's no drop off on that fucker.
Yeah.
And the chest press, I can't. That one scares the shit out of me. Like how heavy it is at the bottom.
I can see Dan's looking at his schedule. See,
I am looking at the schedule.
What's next?
I'm looking at the schedule. Well, the other thing with, which we're kind of like covering is like the training heavy thing. I know it's coming up all the time, and everyone's like shooting around it and stuff.
Everybody's basically trying to avoid training heavy nowadays. I don't know why, because well, I know heavy's relative, like type of thing, but it just seems to be everybody's trying to hit heavy training is bad for you. Barbell rows are no good, you know, incline presses are no good, all that. I know we bang on about the shame sit on this channel, but this is what the channel's about, so we're going to bang on about the same shit.
Yeah, you got to stick to.
Well, here's the thing. What does heavy mean? Because I think loads of people don't even know what that means.
Heavy's a weight that with decent enough form is going to be tough for like 6 to 8 in it.
Yeah, so it's a rep range, right?
Yeah, it's a rep range within a certain form.
Yeah.
Not super strict. A little bit, you know, you can have a little bit of body English in there.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of body English helps tie a lot of the muscle groups together. Like I feel like a barbell row, for example, the fact that you can move a little bit, you get your erectors, you get your back, your traps, you know. Whereas if you're super rigid and you don't move, you kind of isolate things a little bit too much.
The thing about the isolation or like doing like long head and stuff, like, oh, it's not optimal for this one. It's like, you know, and like people do this. Like J3 University talks about like half reps. So if you're doing pull down, you're doing half a set on your biceps and all that sort of stuff. And although I think quantifying it's fucking way too much,
man. Yeah, that makes it not fun anymore.
Yeah, like I think that's too much. But like, why wouldn't you want to get some for free if you're doing a barbell?
Sure.
Like you're doing some, but you're getting some other muscles for free. Why not?
A bit of bicep stimulation. Even when you're doing like, let's be honest, like if you're training, like there's something I was thinking like shoulders, like you're doing pressing above your head, like you're still getting some tricep stimulation. Like you don't want to just, I want to switch off certain muscles. Like your body building, you're trying to build every muscle in your body. So a little bit of carryover. I actually like kind of encourage it.
Like surely that is optimal. I'm getting more for the.
I think you'll get less injuries as well, because I think the reason we become so injured is because we become so rigid, and then when we're training muscle groups in very particular fashion, I feel like you begin to develop issues where things don't have the ability to work together. So
it's funny you say that, James, because I think myself and you had this conversation, Dan. So you got a lot of young guys like 22, 23, 24 who haven't been training that long. They're not using like massive poundages, and they've got a lot of injuries, like elbow injuries, shoulder injuries, knee injuries. And I'm thinking, fuck, like, I'm injured to shit now because I'm old and I've been training for like 30 years. Like, if you're like 2 years in and you get a lot of injuries, there's something wrong somewhere, isn't there? Like, there seems to be a lot of guys who are young getting injured very early. I didn't get an injury till at least 10 years into training, at least. I didn't have a concern about an injury, so maybe that has something to do with it. So interesting you say that, actually. Yeah. People get a little bit too precise, because your body is supposed to be a leverage unit. It is all meant to work together to some degree.
For sure.
So that might be a...
And if you're isolating everything, you are gonna end up with a little chink in the armor somewhere, aren't you?
Definitely. Like you even think of like a pull-up. The most healthy form of a pull-up is probably one that's got a little bit of movement to it, you know, rather than like a super, like not to the level of like a CrossFit pull-up, but not to the level of super strict, you know, somewhere in the middle where there's a little bit of like arc and, you know, a little bit of momentum even, because, you know, you can have controlled momentum.
Yeah.
I always say that one, somewhere in the middle. I'm going to bring out a new training system called Somewhere in the middle, 7.
Somewhere in the middle.
Well, yeah, you called it like body English. I think if it doesn't detract from the muscle you're training and it's not dangerous, I think you can break form 5%.
I do. I think maybe even slightly more.
Yeah, I really don't see it as a problem. If it helps you it's for me, it's you get an extra rep. Like, that's extra, and you didn't get injured. I don't see how that's negative.
I've seen some fucking big arms on people that have quite a lot of swing in a dumbbell curl. Kevin Levrone being one of them.
Yeah, maybe not in the first 2 reps or whatever, but I've never seen a problem. I've never okay, if you're like flinging it and it's way too heavy and it's rep 1, then you're asking for trouble. But I wanted to sling this at Leroy because do you think if you're doing movements like barbell rows, like deadlifts and stuff, things that are doing like multiple muscles at the same time, do you think it ties the physique together? It like gives fluidity?
There's no way. I mean, I've always said try and incorporate just the muscle groups that you're going to use, that you're going to train. However, there's certain movements and certain exercises, there's no way you can do them super strict and use weight at the same time. No way. So, it's you got, like Anne said, you got young lads having injuries. You watch them train, and they're trying to do things super strict, and super slow, which disengages it sort of makes you redundant the muscle groups around the muscle group they're trying to train. And I think that's a lot. It puts too much pressure on that actual small muscle group.
Yeah.
And as James says, you're not firing off on all these other little muscle groups that are around it. So
the chain becomes weak, doesn't it?
There's a weak somewhere along there. There's going to be a weak link, and that's where the injuries are coming from. Is because they're trying to reinvent things. They're trying to scientific. They're trying to put too much science into it. It's not. Keep it simple. Keep it basic. Keep the weight moving. Obviously, keep it as strict as you can, but you are going to incorporate certain muscle groups. That's natural. That's just the ergonomics of us. So trying to cut that out. You're thinking too much then of the actual weight rather than the actual of the reps, the rep range and whatever. If you're moving a heavy weight and you're doing more than 6 reps, the weight's too light. That's my definition of heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're comfortably doing 6 to 8 reps, even 9 with a spot, then the weight's too heavy. So you put more on, and you do the same again. And you are gonna. There's a getting away from A to B. Getting away from A to B in a good strict formation is what we're after. A good strict form manner. Swinging and blocking, trucking and all that. We don't want that. We don't want it. So it's being able to know the difference.
Well, you can see as well, like this as well, to do with the speed. You can tell when the weight is taking the person for a ride and when the person is.
Of course you can, yeah.
And it's very small. And when you're going really slow, for me, I'm like, if you're telling your muscle to move really, really slow, that's not a strong enough signal to make it do what the muscle's capable of, as far as I'm concerned. If you're saying move something slow, what's the signal saying? Like, don't really give it that much.
Yeah, acceleration. But force is important, isn't it? And if you don't move something with force, then you're not going to generate the amount of tension through the muscle that you're desiring to create hypertrophy. So but like you're saying, even like, I'm going to take my headphones off for a second just to run the demo. Like, so a barbell row, for example, like Leroy was saying, if you do a barbell row and you're becoming so precise that nothing's moving other than that, the amount of emphasis you're trying to put on those lats, your concentration is going to switch off a little bit in some of these other areas. So you are probably going to be more compromised. Whereas if you think of it as an entire movement of chain, like the back, including like flexing the glutes and pulling the lower back up and stuff, you're probably going to be safer because you're prepared to engage everything along that line. Obviously, then you do have isolation movements you follow shit up with, like, the hammer strength row, blah, blah, blah. But those big, hefty movements, you can't just think to yourself, all right, I'm going to just lean over and pull the weight towards me. There has to be a little bit more than that, because if you don't think about the glutes, don't think about the hams, don't think about the other muscle groups, then you're going to disengage and get hurt.
probably why it's called a posterior chain.
Exactly, because it's meant to work in unison.
Yeah, there's a reason why those strength fibers are probably called fast twitch fibers, because they're not supposed to be like fucking.
What? And I got it. I've been there's been an influx in people that have figured out if you create rage bait on Instagram, like, and fitness is like the best way to create like rage bait. Go and say something like is shit as an exercise, and 100% like you're getting loads of comments, your following is going to get boosted. I swear they're like selling these things, these accounts later, and it works. I was having someone was saying like the deadlift is like the worst thing. This science says like la la, and I was like, well, do your own research study. Go and look at on stage someone who's got a really thick back that's like tied together. Then go on their socials and see whether they do a deadlift variation. Do your own research project. You can do it right now. It's quite easy. Look for someone who's got a wicked back that's thick, and see how many of them are doing deadlifts.
You know the problem, Dan, as well, is that the people that are putting this information out aren't the ones with the same desire as us to be on stage and do well in the Mr. Olympia. So we're allowing people to fucking bother us that aren't even in, like, they're infiltrating our demographic, but we're letting them through the door.
Yeah.
And it's like, because this guy that we're talking about has no ambition to be on the Olympia stage.
No.
He will just use us as an example and say that he should do that or shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So the problem is they're parasitic. They use us as an example, like our physiques, but then they provide information that's false because they're not using us in literal terms, and what they don't ask us what have we done to develop our physique, which is of that degree. So it's really fucked up because there's so much convolution in a sense that the information's false because we're not included in the conversation. They don't ask us.
There's nobody stood or will ever stand on the Arnold stage or on the Olympia stage
who hasn't done a deadlift.
That's built a back without doing fucking deadlifts or bench over rows or heavy movements. Nobody. There's no, otherwise there'll be a fucking, you might as well call it the pencil neck competition.
Yeah. I say it like, and I try to come from a good place, but then there's other times where you have to assert a certain level of your achievements that you've had. You sometimes just have to go, you know what? I don't like how I sound because I'm not that kind of guy. But fuck, like, you're here, I'm here. I got here because I did this. And it's not trying to, like, because I hate that's the last resort for me. But sometimes you just have to say, look, mate, shut the fuck up. Do you want to be on the stages I've been on? Because if you want to be on the stages I've been on, don't discredit the things I'm saying. I'm telling you for a reason because it's to benefit you. So if I say implementing some like hip hinging, pulling from the floor is beneficial for your physique as a pro fucking bodybuilder, I'm not talking fucking nonsense because I've been on the fucking Olympia stage, mate. And then their argument will be, oh, but you haven't won it. And then you're like, oh, fucking hell, of course I haven't fucking won it. It's Mr. Olympia, but I've been on the fucking stage. And if you want to get there or you want to do that, listen to some people that fucking have.
Yeah, it's fucking
it doesn't piss me off. I just feel, I just hate to see these young guys who are starting out doing all this weird shit. And in 5 years' time, they could have made like 5 times the progress if they just started doing some real kind of training.
But they also, I feel sorry for them because they're never going to truly get the satisfaction from the training that we have all encountered. Because we've had some.
Yeah, I'll fucking fall asleep doing that shit.
We've had some of our best moments in our lives. Probably
when you finish like a 6-plate fucking squat and you do 15 reps and you're lying on the floor and you feel like you're going to die.
Bang.
At the time, it feels awful, but like, man, I miss those days. I wish I could do it tomorrow.
It feels awful at the time, but you walk away from it feeling like a fucking man.
Yeah,
and that's what's missing today.
You roll out of that gym. If you put something in your mind, I'm going to do that. That's happening. It doesn't really matter. And you do it. Or you catch your breath and you stand up and you're like, yeah, I'm the fucking man.
I used to wake up in the morning like shitting my pants, like in a good way, like anxiety, not like shit, we like squatting the night, it's fucking heavyweight on your back, blah, blah, blah. I just can't see anybody getting psyched up the same way and like having that feeling from like, oh yeah, we're going to do some fucking...
It was the best feeling.
One-legged fucking cable leg press or some shit.
My anxiety used to start the night before.
Sure.
Yeah, the night before, then on the morning, like, fuck, it's tonight, like shit.
Yeah, because I used to go out and load out. We say we're doing squats, we're doing legs. We're doing legs. So we know we're going to warm up with, we're going to do leg extensions, and then we're going to do a Smith squat. So I load out the plates either side of the Smith block, and I'm counting them. And then I go to the leg press, and I load out all the plates to the side of the leg presses. So I know what's coming. That's the night before. So driving home, it's going through my brain. what I done the week before, where I failed, where I done well, what I got to beat, and then try to obviously get home, have some to eat, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and it starts all over again. But once you get into that workout and you start training, you start beating last week out, or getting near to, or leveling up, then great, happy days. And like you said, afterwards, you're laying on the floor, hanging out your arse, and then you look at everything, think, fucking beat you today, didn't I? Beat it.
I think that's the most anxious part of it, is that you set a standard for yourself. So you would go in the gym and you're like, I know what I've fucking done before. I know I've put 6 whatever plates on, and I've done a set of 12, and I know how horrible it feels. But if I don't fucking better that in some way today, then I'm a fucking CUNT. Like, putting that pressure on yourself, like, literally. I remember going to like Muscleworks Orpington and like loading up the Smith, the fucking Mark 1 Smith, and being like, I know what can fit on this bar, and I'm filling it up. I'm fucking filling it up, and I'm making sure I do some good reps. And the anxiety, like you said, it was just like, fuck, like, you're getting closer and closer each round, because it takes a while to warm up for the squats, as you know, because you guys have lifted a lot. 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, 4 plate. 40 minutes later, you're like, fuck, like, let's go. Go for a shit before because you're fucking nervous. Come back out. You're like, oh, dry mouth. And yeah, man. But that, the inner dialogue of yourself was always the hardest part. Like, saying, because part of you's like kind of scared, and you're like,
that's what it is. You're fucking scared.
Yeah.
But afterwards, fucking brilliant.
Yeah, you just like, stop being a fucking pussy. You got this, and then you do it.
I miss that. I do miss it, but I know I can't do it no more. I've got to be sensible.
Yeah.
But I do miss that part. I do.
Well,
the argument... Sorry, guys. I had that conversation today with somebody, because they were saying, like, I can't train by how I used to train for various reasons. And I said, yeah, you're still training. And don't be wrong, I'll always weight train. I'll always kind of bodybuild to some degree. But, like, I kind of, not saying my body was a Ferrari. I kind of said, it's like driving a Ferrari at like 200 miles an hour around the lap once. Or somebody saying, well, you can drive that Ferrari around the track at 50 miles an hour 4 times. It's just not the same. Like, it's not the same fun. It's not the same enjoyment. And, hey, it is what it is. Not everybody can train super heavy forever, but or push themselves at that forever. But I do miss it. Like Leo says, I do miss that shit. But hey, that's kind of how I try to compare.
It's because, unfortunately for all of us, there is a time when we don't know it, but we're at our peak. And we didn't know we were at our peak, and you don't know you're at your peak at the time.
Every single athlete goes to the peak, maintains it for a while, then you go down. It's just the way it is in every single sport or every single endeavor, I guess it is. But hey, just enjoy it while you're there, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
At least we're not like a Chinese gymnast and you're like 12 and then you just have to, then you're just discarded.
You're done.
14.
Bring in the next 4-year-old. Trainer.
But like, I have this as well. People are like, oh, well, you did that HIIT training, that's why you're injured. And I'm like, I'm 40. Like,
I think that's what people don't realize. Training years is more important than fucking intensity.
I didn't get a knee pain until I was 35, and these kids telling me that I shouldn't train because I get injured are like 22, and they've got like a shoulder injury. And also, like, you have to train a certain way that you like, and that's what I liked. And I didn't want to be a bodybuilder initially. I was like, seen some stuff, saw Dorian and Leroy, fucking, I was like, I need that. That sings to me, and I just did that. But I got little bits like here and there, but I didn't really get injured until like 2 years ago at 38. So I wasn't riddled with injuries all the fucking time, little bits here and there, but it wasn't dangerous any more than anything else.
You say it's more just wear and tear. The bodies, we are unfortunately just flesh and bone, and things do give in after a certain amount of repetition.
James, your leg injury is pretty much the first kind of serious injury you've had. You haven't had any tears or anything, or what are you, 35 now?
Yeah,
35. And how long have you been training now? It's a long time, isn't it? Like, you started when you were young.
34 years.
Yeah, I've probably been training for like probably over 20 years really, because I started as a young teenager, like 13, 14, something like 13 maybe, in a garage. So yeah, long time. That's what I mean. It's training years, man. Like, you can't expect to have lifted weights for 20 years and be like pain-free.
Brand new. Yeah, it's just not going to happen, you know. Even like you said, even a car, even if the car was never pushed to its limit and it was driving around, the tires would still wear out. So imagine people like us that do actually try hard, and put the tire to the test. Of course we're going to wear out. We're not invincible.
You're absolutely right. The car that bustles around town still needs
Still,
needs an
absolutely.
oil change.
Still needs an oil change, mate, even if you're treating it like fucking gold.
Yeah.
And we've been pretty kind to our bodies in regards to every other aspect, nutrition and rest. But unfortunately, to be good at something requires that intensity and that consistency, and that's consistent intensity is going to wear you out.
And that's the other thing, is that there is a risk. If you want to maximize yourself and get your body to a point where it fundamentally doesn't want to go, you're going to take a risk.
If your bodybuilding, I can only speak for me, but if your bodybuilding never had at least 10 opportunity or 10 occurrences where you knew that set could end your career, you didn't try hard enough, in my opinion. Like, I know that I've done probably 10 sets in my bodybuilding that would probably almost, if something went wrong during that set, boom, I'm out. But I'm like, if I want to be fucking great, I've got to go there, because if I don't go there, someone else will. Because, there's been sets of like flat bench I've done, squats I've done, deadlifts I've done, barbell rows I've done, and any one of them at that point, if something just didn't correlate right, it could have been the end of me. But my mentality is, and anyone's mentality that's got anywhere, it's like, I've got a fucking challenge. I've got to try, because to see new heights, I've got to put my head above the clouds, and the only way it's going to happen is if I fucking do it. And that's just it. If you play safe all the time, maybe you will. Maybe you could be even greater for it, but it's just not the bodybuilding we love and know.
I would have just got bored.
You
Hate
just
that
never
shit.
know, would you? You never know.
Just got bored.
I would hate to just never have felt like I exerted my entire being into at least a moment. Like, I was never good at like exerting myself because of being scared of loads of things, like scared, like an embarrassed person, quite shy, not able to like kind of put energy out very well in many ways. The one thing that I know that people like us had is that we could get under a fucking weight and go till there's no oxygen left in the body. And that was just our way and my way of feeling like life was worth living. Like, I did, like, the closer you can take yourself to fucking failing is the more you feel like you're living.
That's the fucking soundbite.
Yeah. I miss, like I say, there's such a strong feeling towards bodybuilding, and that's why I get a little bit upset by today, because I know that the majority of people's reason in bodybuilding doesn't have the weight behind it that we perhaps have, and that's why sometimes I just kind of turn my head a little bit, and I'm kind of like, maybe don't look as interested, because in all honesty, I'm not as interested because I can't relate.
Yeah. Also, you can get some people, and I can feed off anyone that has that mentality, even if their physique isn't, because genetics is just...
Oh, for sure, man. You can have someone who's got piss poor genetics, but trains like an absolute fucking beast, and you have the best collaboration in your training. I've had training partners that are nowhere near the physical level I am, but have had the mental capacity, and I've walked away from having the best training period because they were hungry.
Yeah, and that's what I feed off.
Same.
And I've been lucky enough to have quite a few training partners over the time, and probably my longest standing is Lewis, who you've all met.
Yeah.
And genetically he's not gifted, but he puts it in. So training with him was great.
I'll be honest. A lot of the time, the people that were genetically better that I trained with were the worst workouts for me, because I'm not the most genetically gifted myself.
Yeah.
So if I do the work rate of someone who is superior to me genetically, it's not enough work for me to encourage change. Like, being real, when I trained with Luke, I probably was far from my best. Not because of anything he did, it's just because the requirement to stimulate him was a lower threshold than what it would have been for me needing to push my body. Some people could get away with doing less, and Luke was definitely an example of that. Whereas, my body had to be told it had to change, otherwise it was really resilient. It would say no. Like, it wasn't a body that was going to allow for it to change unless you were commanding it to change. So that's why bodybuilding's been, that's why my body's quite tight as well, because it has been a struggle. Like, my physique doesn't necessarily just follow suit. It does take a lot of work, and that's the same for a lot of people I know. But I mean, like, in regards to like myself and other pros I know what I've had to do, and I know what they've had to do, and I know that the work in the gym for a long period of my training, it was probably more rough on my body because of what I had to do.
Yeah, you got like we've already got Caucasian dry, now we've got Caucasian grind. Caucasian grind. White man grind.
white men grind, So yeah, again, but then there's people that have again, like you said, there's people who have the mindset to train like this and then don't even have any genetic to do it. And they're the ones I rate the most because it's like they kind of know they're not going anywhere with the physicality, but he's still got the hunger. So that's hard. I don't know what that'd be like.
Mate,
you get like zero return for your efforts. That's when you put it like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was never any genetic elite athlete, but I was above average, so you get some nice reward back. But
I feel like me and you are like
shit if you like
me. I feel like the likes of like myself and like yourself is probably like at that 75% range. Like we're not like average Joe might be like 50. I was
about 60, James, about 60.
I don't know. I'd say about 75. And then you got like your guys that are in those like 85 to 90 and they just fucking respond like
they're usually of a different colour than us, so that isn't being racist. It's just the truth. It is just the truth, isn't it? We all know that.
Just from a muscular, and again, guys, like anyone listening, it's not because of anything to do. It's just to do with purely because of muscle insertions and bone structure. Because unfortunately, a lot of the bone structure of European white people is just not very exaggerated. We have like moderately wide hips, not really wide shoulders. So the offset, what we have to work with, is actually a lot more standardized. Whereas you get like a Middle Eastern guy with the smallest bone structure, the hips are like this, and then the shoulders are like. If you look at like someone like Baru's, like it's just wild, like the shape of some of the guys. So you can have two people with the same amount of musculature on their frame, but they will look very different just because of structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I remember the first time I met Flex Wheeler, like up close. He was on stage, just in trunks, like. His wrists were like, I was like, how the fuck can this guy have like wrists like that? And his arm, like his knees were like, they just looked like little toy little knees. It was crazy, and then just
that's the thing. You take a wrist that's like naturally bigger, and then you put 20-inch arm on it, or you take a tiny wrist and a 20-inch arm, and look at the exaggeration of the widest point to the narrowest point is so exaggerated. That's what gives it that look, that illusion. It's all illusion. Your muscles are the same size. But
it's not a being big competition, is it? It's a muscularity contest, and it's the exaggeration, it's the differences.
Yeah,
that's the illusion.
And they all add up. You can look at someone like Flex Wheeler, and you'll have a smaller wrist, you'll have a smaller ankle, smaller knee, probably even a smaller neck, to be fair, and like smaller elbow. So everything's just popping from these small extremities and just sweeping out from wherever it starts. So it just looks like a bubble. It's just mad.
Leroy, did you ever train with Flex back in the day? I know, like, he was around, like, in Dorian's ring and stuff.
We didn't train with him. I mean, he trained alongside us when we was doing legs. Because there's too many of us. But I mean, his physique in the day was phenomenal. It really was. He was, and like you says, small joints, big bellies. But the bellies looked twice the size of what they actually were because of his small joints. Yeah. Phenomenal physique.
Wild, I bet in his prime it was something different as well.
Oh, he was amazing. He really was. To look at him, especially when he came in on the button in condition, he was a phenomenal physique.
Yeah, I reckon like 93 would have been quite wild.
218 pounds, that looked like 240, didn't it? 250. Easy.
Oh yeah, it looked a hell of a lot heavier than it actually was.
One of my favourite looks, which has nothing to do with anything, is when Laverne won the Nationals, or whatever it was, when he had the long hair.
Man, he didn't even he was like a pro level when he won the Nationals, wasn't he? Like, that's probably like looked better than when he was pro.
I think so. He looked more shredded.
Legs.
He looked so shredded back then.
Yeah, he was literally like Olympia level winning the Nationals. That was fucking nuts. I remember when he had the ponytail.
Yeah, because he beat everybody, didn't he, at the Nationals? He beat Flex, Ronnie. He had multiple people that were turning pro, beaten to the.
Yeah, he sort of blew off. He put on a lot of size after that, didn't he? A lot of size, and then struggled to get back down to that
edition.
Granite look, yeah.
Because he was literally granite when he won that pro card. Yeah, wild. Love Kev.
Right, Danny, you got any questions, man? I got a few in DM. To be fair, they weren't the best questions, to be fair. Some silly ones as well, which we'll miss those ones out. Should we do an Arnold Classic? Obviously, we've got James here, so we're going to have to be... We'll have to put James first. No, honestly, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't be ass kisser and do that. This is a fucking hard line. I mean, James knows that.
I've got two Mr. Olympias, 3 Mr. Olympias.
Yeah, fuck. It's like, and when you were saying earlier, James, about the invite, it is literally like 12 guys. Is it 12?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some guys who applied who didn't get the nod.
Yeah, it's always
yes, nice one, Mr. Hollingshead. Tell you why I'm surprised to see in the lineup, not because he's not a good physique,
Carlos.
because how did he get in? Because did he compete? Or he pulled out last year, didn't he? So I thought you had to have competed in the last 2 years or something. Or
typically you need to have won a show. Like in your application, you need to win a show. But there are always someone who's got crazy potential they like to invite. So Horse was invited one time. Rubiel had the invite one time. Carlos. So if there's someone that looks like their future's super bright, then they do like to have them on the stage. So I kind of get it because Carlos is obviously extremely gifted in the old development department. So
he's got the wild card.
Yeah, and I think that's just there's someone they just wish to see.
Tickets bit, isn't it? Yeah.
They're looking for a crowd pleaser, aren't they? They're looking for someone who's going to start the whispers and the crowd
could shock. Someone that could shock as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean he looks deformed.
Yes, he looks like he's got no myostatin. He's like
yeah, it looks like it's actually like a disease.
He's so like, I think he's only like this tall, and he's just like,
Did you see the front double bicep shot that was posted up?
Yeah, it's wild. Fuck. It's wild. You just got to hope that when you stand next to someone like that, they just look like nowhere near as good as they.
Yeah, you can't take it from the rear, James. His back's a little bit weak.
Okay.
And he doesn't get shredded either, does he? Well, he didn't. So
I think he's got a little bit. He's got some sort of like disease.
I think he's got Crohn's disease or something,
something that makes Crohn's one of those things.
I thought Crohn's makes you like super shredded because you can't digest.
Because you can't digest just shit it all out.
Yeah.
What's the other one? There's Crohn's and there's
colitis.
I think it's colitis.
Might be what he has. Yeah, it sounds more like it.
Yeah, colitis is like kind of like worse, but it's the same sort of thing.
Obviously, the big thing about this show is really like most people are obviously interested to see Derek versus Samson, obviously, because they're both currently top 3 in the world, and one's Mr. Olympia and one's last year's Mr. Olympia. So it's a big deal. It'd be lovely to come in and be able to pit one of them to the post if it's possible. Like I can't say it's not possible, but it'll be obviously incredibly hard because the amount of fucking muscle they have. But every dog has his day, and who knows? One of us lot who's not meant to be in that top 2 might be in the top 2. Who knows?
At that level, only 1% off changed the whole fucking game.
Does anybody know who Derek's working with? Then there's been a few names.
He's training with Chris Cormier, but I don't know who he's getting prepped by.
Does Chris Cormier take him out at the weekend? So
probably that'd be good for me if he does. I'm going to message Chris. And say,
I was speaking to Dan today actually about like the Arnold and the Olympia and all that kind of stuff, and I said, I know Martin, great bodybuilder Martin, like 4th at the Olympia. I think you can beat Martin, James. I think you got very comparable physiques. Yeah, he's got you a little bit on the clavicle width, but
it's such a weird one, isn't it? Because again, I rate Martin highly as well, and
so do I. I just, I'm not kissing the British guy's ass, but
with bodybuilding,
I think you can beat Martin.
With bodybuilding, at one show, someone can defeat everybody, and then you put them at the Olympia, and the Olympia changes everything. Sometimes, like there's a different kind of way things look at the Olympia when you've got everyone stacked together. It kind of changes the dynamic, because like Martin could be at something like Detroit and then have a little bit of a tough time with Good Vito, for example. Yeah. And then but at the Olympia, Good Vito probably would have been down in like 12th, because
it is strange, isn't it?
It's very
it's the demographic, doesn't it? It changes it, and even at amateur all the way through.
Sure. Like
there's a theme, isn't there?
Well, you got to think as well, Dan. Like, so you've got Hardy and you've got Derek in that lineup who are like comparable in height. So it all kind of just makes him suit being in between there. It's like, where does the picture fit? And I think bodybuilding, the shows determine the lineup determines the placing in regards to who does it favor and who does it not favor. Because if you're all in shape and you all have different structures, if there's a few people that just have this kind of structure that's kind of getting the first look, if you're in that structural kind of demographic, then you might also get swinged up into there just because. Like that's why if you get defeated in a bodybuilding show, like I would encourage people to not let it go to heart, because I don't think it really means someone's actually a better bodybuilder than you. I really don't think that. Like I know that's weird, and I think it was different back in the day, but now I think people can beat people and not actually necessarily be what I would consider a better bodybuilder, because we all have our own image of what bodybuilding is. And that's not me just saying that as a cop-out. I genuinely mean that.
If you have 9 judges, okay, professional judges, and they judge a lot, say the Olympic lineup, they judge that lineup. take them 9 away. Don't reveal the scores and then get another 9 professional, all on the same level, all professional, and let them judge.
Interesting to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. I'd love to see that.
Because imagine if all like the tall guys place top 5, and then the second lot it's all the shorter guys.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, how does that, Yeah, bodybuilding's it's a funny one because I think that's why I think even if you win the Olympia, although obviously you've got to be like I'm number 1, but also it must be quite hard to feel confident because what they're looking for doesn't seem to be super consistent in regards to
not anymore.
No. So it's kind of like if I won the Olympia, I'd almost be shitting myself doing it again because I'd be like, well, they might just change what the fuck they want. Do you know what I mean? So to know you could not get worse or better. You could still be as good and things can still change.
Yeah.
I would love to see an Olympia lineup like this one coming. Or even the Arnold and have 3 sets of judges. Take all their scores and then average it. And then you'll get a true winner.
See what's what.
Well, when I say true winner,
well, you just have the one that most people felt that it fell into place for them.
Yeah.
Whether because they could score second on like loads of people's, and then first on a lot of people and third on a lot of people, and
that's
in
why
the
you
average,
do an average over the 3 scores.
Yeah.
Then you gotta, but not just that. You'll highlight exactly what they're looking for, because you'll have 9 judges on say 9 judges on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Now these judges will be briefed by the head judge, but they'll all have their favourites or their favourite looks. Some will like the big round bellies and the soft look. Some will like the granite look and whatever. So it would be nice to have an average score. And you get to actually see them, what the judges are actually, are they looking at the right thing or are they just making it up on the fucking night?
Yeah. It's tough one, isn't it? It's because we all have our own opinion on what Mr. Olympia should present.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I still want to see someone inside out nails.
Yeah.
Even at the cost of a little bit of fullness. But then you've got someone like Samson whose shape is so exceptional and his size is so exceptional at the cost of maybe a touch of the condition wins. And I kind of don't argue either way because I see that there is no set way. But me, just personally, I just like it when people are fucking inside out.
Yeah.
Because I love dieting hard and getting in shape. And I hate that last year I kind of came in a little bit heavier and not actually in the condition I know I could be because of trying to play a little bit of a game that I felt was being played.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather just go all out and be like 258 and be like inside out. But we'll see. We'll see what happens this year. I don't know. Part of me still wants to just be like, just get fucking absolute nails and fuck it. Because then at least no one can argue with your condition. Because the thing is, with someone that's conditioned in lineup, they always get respect.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So you always get he look fucking big, however he's a bit soft.
Yeah. Whereas when you're pilled.
Yeah, he was fucking. Yeah,
fucking nails.
He was granite. Don't care what size he was granite. Yeah. That's a compliment.
That is true. There's never a but, is there, when that sentence comes out?
Yeah, there is sometimes it's like, oh yeah, he's got a reason this flat. You can't honestly. There's always somebody who's got to say fucking something. So you can't be great condition when he's flat. He gets great fucking cheese on his triceps, but yeah, he's a bit flat.
I'd like everyone on that Olympia stage to be 10 pounds lighter than they are.
Oh, wouldn't that be a great reset?
Yeah, just like 10. Some people maybe need a little bit more because obviously they're just a bit too heavy. But yeah, if everyone was like 10 pounds off what they're coming in at, even Huddy,
James, who needs more than 10 pounds off?
Mate, I would even like to see Huddy 10 pounds like back in Vancouver.
Yeah, from the rear.
Because the lats are so full, but I feel like they could be harder if he came down more.
Yeah, definitely.
I know, and then obviously there's the size thing, but I still think everyone would just look more statuesque and they'll just be more freaky and fun. Because I admire, I see the condition on the other guys, like some of the 212s and the classic guys, and it's superior.
Yeah.
And I hate that they're superior because we're meant to be the standard setters. So in my eyes, I'm like, we're meant to be as conditioned as them, but bigger.
Yeah.
So, I see like Urs coming in pilled, Ramon coming in pilled, and then I'm like, but none of us guys are coming in that pilled, and I feel a little bit embarrassed for it because I thought we were meant to be the standard setters in all aspects, muscularity and condition. You know, so I would love to see Samson. Like, I love Samson. I think he's a great person, and I think him, if he came in, man, I don't know what it was need, because it's hard to say with his skin texture and stuff, because it's really hard to judge black people sometimes, not in a rude way, but it just is hard because I'm white and I only know what white physiques look like by being one. I know how the granular look is and when it comes, and I can see on a white guy when they're not in shape or if they are. So for him, it's hard to judge because I don't have that body type. But I would love to see him in the kind of condition that he could be in, because I just think with that structure, even if he was lighter, it'd be just world blowing. It'd be closer to what it'd be close. It wouldn't be Ronnie, but it'd be closer to what Ronnie was presenting in regards to the contrast between muscularity, size, and condition. And that would be a standard setter, and that could be a reigning Mr. Olympia, in my opinion.
He probably looked bigger anyway if he came in tighter, to be fair.
Mate, imagine him like with striations through the fucking like shoulders, chest, triceps, you know, lower back. Just crispy, man. It'd be so good to see. Like he's already Samson, if you're ever listening, he's already in incredible shape, great shape. But I'm just being selfish and I'd like to see more.
Yeah. And
I'm allowed to be selfish.
Well, it's not like you can't afford to lose some, is it?
If you're £300 on stage, or 305 or whatever he was last year, man, just take £10 off that. £295 on stage is fucking absurd.
Yeah. And if it costs him some fullness, he's got some fullness to spare.
Mate, it's quite hard. I've worked with like black guys. I've helped black guys before, and it's actually really hard to get them to go flat. Like, I mean, I've had to do like no carbs for some of the people I've worked with, and their body's still popping. It's really difficult, honestly, which is hard because it means that the amount of food that you give a black guy is less. So then they probably feel more the effects of the diet, which pisses them off, because it pisses anyone off. We have to eat less, but the muscle just stays full, man. It's such a good trait to have if you can get away with that, I swear.
Samson's even said that, hasn't he? I've seen him on videos.
He doesn't go flat. He said, I spoke to Samson when we were at the Arnold. He's like, I haven't even carved up for the show. He said, I haven't done anything because he doesn't go flat.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine not feeling that shitty, stringy feeling in the morning after a few weeks on clenbuterol, and how you start to just feel absolutely piss poor flat. Fuck. I wish.
Yeah. Clenbuterol. What is this clenbuterol, James?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, clenbuterol is a fat
burner.
I
mean, we were saying hypothetically. Somebody did ask this question. I'm sorry, I've got it scribbled down here on the side. It did say what night nurse Leroy. Somebody did ask him. It did say, "What do you think about young guys sharing their drug cycles?" But like, I guess that's like correlated to everybody, because I do like to see how people are sharing like info and not kind of keeping it secret as such. But I don't know, man. I think maybe some people's going to run into some ramifications maybe down the line about like health insurance and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know why they said young people. I mean, I guess it's good if young guys are sharing their cycles so we can kind of give them some input. Are they doing too much? Are they doing some silly, crazy stuff or whatever? Because the general consensus is like just more is better still. I don't know if that's kind of changed at all or not. Or
it's really tough because when we were younger. Sorry.
There was no info, wasn't it? Everybody kept
and we personally didn't talk about it aloud because it was like a kind of respect thing. Just like let every man do his own way and see who comes out on top. You know, it's part of the, like, you didn't tell anyone your training style. You didn't tell anyone. You were just like, my camp's doing this, your camp does that. Let's see who wins. It's like a football team not discussing the same tactics with another football team. Like, oh, I'm going to have my left, midfield guy try to push this in the first quarter. Like, now we're all sharing so much fucking information with each other. No one's got a fucking team anymore.
Like, I mean, it's crazy. So, like, obviously, we've got the gyms and stuff, and I'll see guys, hey, how's it going? Like, how's the training going? And like, yeah, I'm doing 2 grams of test, and like,
that's
that's like just like normal conversation now. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't think you know. I was just asking how the training was going. Like, told me a full cycle. Just keep that.
Dude, it happens every day.
Like, yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Every day you could be like, how's things going? Oh yeah, good, man. The test is kicking in. Probably going to start some like master on next week. And I'm like, I'm in life. How's life going? Fuck, Jesus.
Yeah, we're just enough from that the era, James. Unfortunately, I think we just get a bit shocked by it now. But it's not shocking now. Everybody just
there is a little bit of an over emphasis I find on. My desk looks like it's changed shape. No, it hasn't. It's fine. There's an overemphasis on how important it is to have more, isn't it? Like the threshold of what people think is the accurate amount required to make progress is certainly a higher level than what it actually is. You know,
Yeah.
You can take like hypothetically, for example, what I know because of a previous prep, something like a trenbolone, you could use as little as 10 milligram daily, like if you were doing microdosing, and you'd get ample effects from that. And now most kids are like, yeah, I'm doing 100 a day, and it's just beyond just not needing that much. You just have to think also about like the other effects, like the psychological and whatnot as well. The psychological one's the one that people don't really, they all kind of shrug it off because you don't feel psychological things too much in the beginning because the feeling is new and it feels good. Because in the beginning, you like how you feel because you're so early on, you haven't caused any fucking damage yet in the real world. Whereas like when you're actually an adult and you have responsibilities and things that actually matter and decisions that are heavy, those kind of things can have a real bad detriment to the well-being of just your life in general. Obviously, as a young 19-year-old living at home with mum and dad, or with mum or dad, you just go home and sleep on the bed and go out and train. Like you don't really think about the consequences. So, and I'm guilty of being that way when I was younger too. I didn't really think about those things. But saying from a place of goodwill and being older, if you want your health to be good, your relationship health to be good, and your friendships to be good, and business and work, then you do have to consider what you're doing and when you're taking it, because it does have an effect.
Yeah, I think when you're in that bubble, you think it doesn't make you different. But again, me stepping out, because I haven't had any supplements since like 2016. Like you are different. That's the way it is. Maybe when people say, "Oh, I've had like 20 weeks off," I don't feel any different, because that's not that long of a time. It's for everything to kind of there's stuff still going on up there. But yeah, looking back, you do definitely change.
Yeah, I had one. I remember, like, I had a full year off in 2010 because I was like really loved up with a girlfriend at the time, and I wasn't interested in bodybuilding. And your head it's a lot clearer. It's a lot clearer. You don't get that brain fog. It's actually a nice feeling. So I would encourage anybody that's kind of wondering if it's important to have time off. I would definitely say it certainly is, especially for your mind.
Thank God you got rid of her, James, or you wouldn't be on the Arnold Classic stage, would you? So
I know.
Sorry, whatever your name is.
Sorry, love. Sorry, love.
Sorry, Treacle. You're ditched for the Olympia stage.
But you know what? Relationships failing is always a good thing, because you bounce back and then go and do a bodybuilding show and then do well. Because that's kind of that's my way of being like, oh, you know what? I need to show myself that I'm worth something. So you could jump into a bodybuilding show again and then.
When Tom Platz's missus left him for his training partner.
Was you just basically like, Ellis, pack your bags?
Yeah,
get out, Ellis.
I'm going to bounce back off this one.
That's it.
Business to do.
I know the secret to longevity and success in bodybuilding. It's basically having bad relationships.
Has Mandy always been supportive of your bodybuilding efforts, Leroy, back in the day? Because there's nothing worse fuck your progress up than somebody who pushes against the tide instead of encouraging them with it. So, and I do know, I was literally speaking to a guy. He's like, been training 5 days a week. I've had a word with the missus. She wants me to knock it down to 3 like next year and the new year. I think, fuck, man. There's a lot worse things you can be doing than going to the gym. Let's face it. Like,
yeah,
he's in the gym like an hour and a half, like 5 days a week. Like, he could be going on the pub playing darts and staying there till fucking 12 midnight every night. So, yeah, there is a lot of that, unfortunately. Manly's always been on the team bodybuilding side, Leroy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She's very supportive, very, very, very active. Especially when I was competing and that. However, if you ask her about it now, she does not want fuck all to do with it.
You gotta do your fucking.
And it's because, as you know, it's a very selfish sport. It's all you, and like James says, when you're young, that doesn't matter. But when you start having a family or whatever, there's other things to take in consideration of other people, but you don't. And lucky enough, Mandy sort of took that on board and got on with it and helped and done her bit, which was great. It made my life a lot easier. However, she fucking hates it now. She won't even. I mean, she only even goes to your shows, and that's it. That's
yeah. We'll tempt that next time with a few bottles of wine, Leroy. Don't worry. I mean, when you say it's a selfish sport, that doesn't mean that you're like being selfish on purpose. It's like
no, it's not.
If you want to be successful, like, you've got to be selfish because there's
you've
no
got to be
other way.
regimental. You got to be bleak because you're eating at a certain time, you train at a certain time, you're resting at a certain time. You can't go to the kiddies' parties or there's certain things you have to miss out. And like Jay, if you want to do it properly, if you want to compete on that Olympia stage, you got them kinks in the chain. You got them chain links. And if you don't adhere to one of them chain links, then the whole chain's weak. So if you're not resting and recuperation properly, you're not eating properly, you're not training properly.
Your worst day has to still be 97%.
Of course it does.
And that's the thing, and that's what I try to drill into people. It's like there's a level of consistency required, and it's within your power. Your decisions are just all based upon keeping consistency, and sometimes some things aren't in your power, but you still try to navigate it best you can. And that's it. Like you might find yourself having to go to do something like with the wife, like maybe they have a hospital appointment or something, blah blah blah. And as a good person, yes, you should go along and attend, but then what you do is you pack a meal, take it in the car with you. And that's when I mean a day would be 97%, because the ideal day is when you don't leave your your comforts or whatever it may be. But you can't, like, I don't think anyone really is 100 because real life does happen. So you just got to be as close to as possible.
Well, especially if you're working like a normal job.
Sure.
There's, if it's paying you, you can't be like, fuck off, boss.
Exactly.
No, Dan, you get rid of your job and you don't have a job and you just bodybuild. That's it, under a bridge.
I think people think.
Just find a way.
Catch all your fish from under the bridge. And that is it.
Yeah, that's not realistic, is it? Jokes aside, I have known people do some really silly shit to like follow their bodybuilding dreams, like sell their car to buy some GH and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely not recommended.
That's not being dedicated. That's just being a bit stupid, unfortunately. So
that's being, it's just being
irresponsible.
Yeah, and also like saying you're a hard worker, but you're clearly not, because you're not putting the work into the part that's going to support your bodybuilding.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's a hierarchy of needs, don't you? You need a base level.
Yes, and without that, you have nothing.
Yeah, and bodybuilding's like right at the tip. So actually, the work that you need to do in order to be able to do the bodybuilding, this luxury on top, takes a lot of work for everything underneath it to make sure you don't dissolve the rest of your life. Because ultimately, like, James, you've managed to navigate is your job, and for most people that's not going to happen.
I know personally I'm extremely fortunate. I won't say lucky, because it's not luck, but it is fortunate because I've been blessed to meet people along the way that have granted me opportunity through my efforts. And I'm very, very fortunate. Like, the position I am in is what a lot of people, the ideal bodybuilding situation. And it's not impossible, but you have to be prepared to take time and effort and put it into relationships with people and get off your ass, because sometimes you might get summoned to go somewhere and be somewhere, and without going there because you purposely want something in return. As a side note to that, sometimes it does grant that, even if you weren't anticipating that. So I've never done something or gone anywhere or tried to go somewhere because I'm like, I want something from it. But it just so happens that having that personality, and that's been the way that I am, has granted me opportunity. So that's my advice to anybody who's, really trying to make their bodybuilding work, is just don't be a fucking schmuck. Be a proper person. Take time with people. Even down to things like when I'm at the Arnold, and Samson's the same, but the athlete meet and greet, we'll be the last two there. Like last year, the meet and greet ends at like 10. We're there for like 3 hours. Every other athlete pretty much has gone after like an hour. Me and Samson are just standing there till the queue's done. And that may not get you the win, but I get you the respect. And the companies and the people, like, if you get taken on by a company, for example, and you have a code, it'll be the people that you've shook hands with and taken time to speak to that support you. So again, anyone that does listen to this and knows me, and you have been that person that's ever taken time and waited for me, then I owe you thanks, because you're the reason I am in the position I'm in. So thank you as well for being there, So that's a personal thing.
Yeah, I always just say to people, just do the right things. Just do the right things and good stuff.
It's the same as you should be in life in general.
Yeah.
I've always felt that,
saying,
yeah.
was it the harder you work, the luckier you get? But you just said you're not lucky, James. Just the harder you work, the luckier you get. So
Because it's that thing in it, you create luck.
Yeah.
In many ways. But fortunate is definitely the right word, because fortunate still expresses gratitude, because I am very grateful. Extreme, like, look, all this that I have is through bodybuilding. I'm so fortunate. Like, my bodybuilding I didn't make any money in bodybuilding until after I was a professional, and I was trying to be a professional all the way from 2009 to 2008 all the way to 2017. So that's 9 years. So 9 years of being in an overdraft, working, doing removals, and any other job, working in agency stuff in like factories, smashing metal and earning like £200 a week. You've got to do it. So like, don't be ignorant, and don't think that you don't have to lay the footwork, because you do. And then eventually you might find yourself in a good position. But until you're willing to put the effort in and try hard and support yourself, you ain't gonna have shit.
And do that shit whilst you're young.
Yeah, why you got the energy, and why you got the like, because that when you're that young, you don't mind doing a full day 8 to 4 and then going to the gym and smashing it out after.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that when you're like fucking 35, 40.
Yeah.
Some of my best sessions were like working in the sawmill all day and then going to the gym and fucking having a great while. Now I'm just like, I'm ready to go to bed at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
not that I ever do, but it's fucking all the shit, man.
That is one thing I say to like the younger people, like, do the bodybuilding. You don't need time off. You don't need to get a job to suit your bodybuilding. Just fucking do it. Get ahead. Follow. You can do like both.
You get 2 breaks normally at work, or whatever it is, food breaks. You get like one in like a couple of hours in, and then another couple of hours after that. You have a meal before you start work, so that's 3 meals down. You train. You have a shake after, that's 4 meals down. Get home, have a meal, 5 meals down. Boom.
Yeah.
Fuck me, it ain't hard. Like, really, honestly. Like, we've all done it.
It's possible. I used to do the blending the tuna in between my lessons.
Bang. Yeah, you was teaching, and you still, same thing.
Yeah.
You had to be present for a full class all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's the Instagram thing, isn't it? Everything looks so like perfect on there, and people get up and have their fucking coffee and like do their cold bath and all the shit. And I was like hiding in the toilet eating fucking chicken drumsticks at work.
It goes back around to what we brought up earlier, which I hate to fucking moan about, but the coaching, because everyone's decided to coach because it's a job that is mobile and it offers you time. So people without the adequate knowledge still choose to do it because they're like, you know what, fuck going to work and doing a full day's work and earning minimum wage, because I can earn thousands of pounds a month by just telling other gullible people what to do. And I get to live that lifestyle where I wake up in the morning, I have my Nespresso, I sit and look at the fucking sun rising outside like I'm a fucking entrepreneur. And then probably do make enough money to buy a nice car, because I'm literally charging people £200 a month, and I've got 50 people who are all gullible thinking that I'm the dog's bollocks because I sit on my phone and go on ChatGPT and ask it to pump out fucking diets, because that's what they do. So I can go on my phone now. By the way, guys, I can go on my phone now and use ChatGPT and get a better diet than your coach probably. So your coach is probably not that good. Just going to say that about most of them. The real coaches are the people that look at you in person, actually understand bodybuilding, and take you for a workout here and there, and actually feel your skin and tell you that you need to get leaner instead of just reading off a diet to you. So probably after you can dump your coach right now and stop giving him so much money. So then there'll be a bit more balance in the world again. And then people earn the right wages and then go back to working in fucking wherever they work. So it'll all be good again. Yeah. Sweet. Thanks.
just when you said the skin thing there, I remember the first time I trained with Leroy, we did legs, tore my fucking quad. That's another story. We've told that one before. He's like, right, let's have a look at you then. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it's like 10 weeks out. And then like, you start like going out on your lower back. Like, you're on track. None of that goes on now. Nobody's in the gym with underpants. They're in the fucking posing room with a fucking Zoom call.
It was all, you feel there, and you say, if you ain't like that around your lower back, you ain't ready.
That was Kerry Kay's the same. When you think you're ready, pinch that on the back of your hand, and that's what you're aiming for. And I'm like, fucking Jesus, got another 3 years to go, Temple Gym, Leo. I remember I was 10 weeks out. MD was there, and Giles was taking pictures. Like, oh fuck, I'm gonna look fucking terrible here. But you just got your kit off and you had a look, didn't you? It was no fancy lights or anything, and the old lower back test, wasn't it? Like, you're on track, son. Keep going.
So sorry, my argument is just that let people coach who are actually adequate at doing it, and please stop putting money in people that are not even got a level. Like, after these people, another thing, I have a belief in this, and it's, I do feel like, because I get coaches come to my gym who are online coaches and assume they can just PT a client. I'm like, one, I got PTs that pay a rent because that's the way that the structure of the gym, and that's like the legit way. And because my PTs all have qualifications, because it covers me. So my PTs in my gym all have a level 3 certificate, whether it be YMCA, whether it may be from back in the day. All right. They present us with that and they can train their people. If you come in the gym and you're training people and you assume, number one, and don't pay the additional, the rent or whatever, that's one, just a piss take on the people that do pay. Two, most of the time these guys aren't actually qualified. And that bothers me as well, because then I'm like, then what was the point of other people getting qualified? Like, I feel bad for them. I'm like, this person's gone out of their way to build a career, a genuine career, and you think you can just mosey in here and train people because you call yourself an online coach. Because online coaching, a lot of time, you are just calling yourself it. It's not an actual title. So I've got a lot to say about online coaching, and I'm someone that could online coach tomorrow like that. I could, and I could make thousands. And that's not me being arrogant. I know I could because I get asked, but I wouldn't, because I'm not that interested, and I am the sort of person that I don't have the interest, so I wouldn't lie about my interest just for money. Whereas there are people that I know to coach. Dan's one of them that I know is very passionate about coaching. I know that he actually it's like he actually cares about progress for people. I don't care. So I don't do it. But that's my problem, is that there's a lot of people that do it that don't care, but it's just a money grab. And that's where I just, I'll be saying this to the day that I die. Because again, coming from a hardworking background where my mother worked 2 jobs, stacking shelves at night, working in a prison, basically trying to, keep a fucking house afloat for 2 kids. I just find it really kind of odd that people out there can make so much money with a kind of dishonest job. And when I say dishonest, I mean, like, if you truly sat there and said, am I actually capable of what I'm doing? A lot of people, if they came and spoke to me or you or any of you in the gym and asked us about training, we'd probably catch them out pretty quick about their lack of knowledge. And it'd be concerning and it'd be alarming to the point where we're like, how the fuck are you actually coaching said people? And that's just my problem. So again, I'll get a lot of hate for it, but who cares?
No, but that's the level of scary, is that some of these people are so entry level that they actually don't know that they know football.
Again, if you're listening to this, and if you're listening to this and you're gonna like, but that isn't me, then it probably isn't you. You're good. But there is a fucking lot of people that I know, because I've had people come to my gym and speak to me, and I've kind of been like, whoa, shit, what do you do for a living? Whoa, I don't know if that guy should. I won't say it to you because I kind of feel bad, but I'll put it on here so that the consensus is out there, and then maybe you can self-evaluate. But yeah,
I just find it very difficult if someone's like 19, 20 who hasn't really learned about their own body yet can advise people on all that kind of stuff. I just find it very difficult. You've got some years under your belt learning and stuff, and it's like trying to teach somebody how to ride a bike when you can't ride a fucking bike yourself. This is kind of
ultimately
I feel that a lot of the gym owners as well, that they have a responsibility. If they're letting these so-called coaches into their gym, and like you say, James, they've got to have a certificate. Unfortunately, a lot of these certificates you can get offline. Unfortunately, and then insurance. God forbid if these gym owners allow these so-called coaches into their gym. I mean, you can tell just by watching them that they don't know fuck all. Just by watching them try and go through an exercise with somebody. But you got some of the gym owners, they're making money off these so-called coaches, so they turn a blind eye. However, God forbid something goes wrong. God forbid one of these trainees get an injury from one of these coaches. That coach is just going to disappear.
Absolutely.
That person who's injured is going to look for a payout. He's going to look for a lawsuit.
And they'll be asking you.
And they'll be going straight to that owner.
Yeah, for sure.
And he said, "Oh well, I didn't know." It's a lot of gym owners should take responsibility and have a register and check on their trainers, coaches, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, Ultraflex, you have to be minimum level 3 and have full insurance to PT somewhere at Ultraflex. I don't know what's like in your place, James.
Same. It's the same. That's what I'm saying. They have to. Yannicka literally has to interrogate them before they're allowed to fucking PT.
Fuck that.
So
for that.
And Yannicka interrogates pretty hard.
I'm not being interrogated.
You go into some gyms, there's more coaches than there are actually people in there training.
Well, the problem is there's a lot of gyms out there that do that because it makes their social media super popular, and then the gym does get popular and it does make money. But again, morals versus business. I think you can build a good business and do it in a way that's safe for everybody, rather than just basically going with the hype. Because there's a lot of hype, and that's just it's unfortunate.
I said this today on Andy Scott's post. Andy Scott posted a good post. I just said literally, people are choosing the coaches now on like how good the reels are. It's like if you're cool on Instagram, and again I keep banging out the same shit whatever Instagram, but if your reels are the coolest, that's the coolest coach that you pick if you've got a big following, which we know most of them just buy all the followers anyway. It's all the same shit. All smokes and mirrors, isn't it?
And it's all cold calls as well. Like coaches I know that do well, they basically inbox everybody asking them that and saying they got potential and I could coach you. So it's not even it's not even done in a way that's like genuine. It's quite bad actually.
That's gross.
Now, imagine me just being on some like chick's page and I'm like, she looks good. If I gave her a bit of Anavar, she's going to win a show.
Yeah.
And then message you, I can make you a champion and promise them they're going to be like really good. And then they get all excited because they're like, yeah, I want to be a champion because champions is good. Being a champion is a good thing. That's half the industry we're in now. And people don't
mate, that's bad. I did actually see a post from actually a well-known respected coach who I think is actually very good, but they said what I do when I look at a coach is I go look at their social media, and if their social media is not good and they're not posting often, I'm thinking, well, how often are they getting back to their clients? I thought, fuck,
maybe they're busy fucking replying instead of posting.
Yeah, I thought that's a really interesting concept that I totally would not have even thought about because I don't think that's true.
Isn't it the other way around? Should they not be on the computer?
Well,
not
again,
on social media?
I'm here to learn, Amp, and obviously people are thinking like that. Even at like, but for me, that would be like if someone's plowing out 4 videos a day, like what are they doing with their clients? Like, what do you reckon?
If you're all content, then you're just a content creator.
But like from a numbers perspective, how many do you reckon, Amp? How many reckon you could do? Like, if you were like,
I do. You know, I've coached for like 8, maybe even 10 years now. Yeah. I did about 2 or 3 years for free. Guys from Max Muscle, just trying to get people in shape because I enjoy it. It's good, cool. You know, get some experience, like you say, just try and learn your craft and all that stuff. And then I've done it like a paid service, which I don't even charge a lot, man. I couldn't charge a lot of fucking money for replying to an email a few times a week. It's just crazy. But yeah, I don't ever do more than like 15 at a time because I don't see how anybody could physically reply to like a fucking 100 people a week. I don't know how it's even possible. Like, maybe I'm just a shit at time management and all that stuff. But I would rather do.
You don't have your espresso in the morning and meditate and stuff.
Yeah, I've got to do like a ice bath, fucking journaling and all that stuff. That takes 7 hours. And, I don't know what's realistic. Fucking hell.
I think 15 to 20.
If it's a full-time job.
If it was a full-time job every day.
I don't do it as a full-time job. I've got this shit going on at the gym and all this stuff and whatever. Yeah. And like, you could do, I guess you could do like 10 check-ins a day if it was a full-time job. If you're literally at your desk from like 9 to 5.
So maybe do like Monday to Friday, maybe let's say you could do 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a realistic number, I guess. I don't know how people are doing like fucking 300 people.
But then imagine then like cyclically you've got 10 of those that are competing at a time. That's like the workload's just tripled, right?
Yeah, because they're gonna want to hit you up more often.
Yeah. Like
and more in depth, and they're also going to ask you to be their mental therapy because they're going through hard time because they're.
Well, that's the number one thing you do as a fucking prep.
And what would you do in my situation? I'm really struggling.
Yeah, like I've had amazing messages like I dropped my test on the floor.
What do you want me to do about it?
Like what do you want me to just click my fingers and a magic test appear?
But get some more of that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I didn't.
Saying that, James, you got Stefan, who's got like fucking 20 people in like a pro show. That's crazy. How do you feel about that personally? I mean, again, I saw on Fluad's podcast about like saying people don't need the handhold, and everybody's head melts a little bit the last few days.
I think the thing with it's funny because the whole character of Stefan is how like fucking autistic he is, isn't it? It's like that's the thing.
He's super calculated.
So I don't think he sleeps, and I don't think he gets off his phone. So he's just always on it. Like I could message him now, and within a minute he'll reply. Like he is very active. So therefore I don't feel any certain way really. At least the playing field's even. I know what we're all fucking doing. Like
well, that was the thing about like the whole 24-hour service like thing like that, and obviously like if you're like a bit on that side, maybe that's possible, but
not for regular folk.
Like I have like a work phone so that I can sit down with everyone's like stuff, so I can't just make free calls like off the top of my head for like however.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Or I'll start talking to them like a mate.
You got to go through some of the previous history of what you've been doing.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
Maybe that's a limit for me, maybe I'm shit, but I have to do it in a block, like once or twice a day.
I think most people do, man. It depends on the structure of how they coach. I think when you get to I think most of the guys who are like where I am have kind of figured out most of what they want to figure out, and they literally just want to send pictures to somebody and then say, food down, food up. Like it's just like confirming what we think. Like, I might look at my physique and I'm like, my weight's been the same for a week now. I know it's got to start coming down. And then often you'll speak to like Stefan, you'll just say that and he'll go, I agree, or I disagree, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of, it's almost like the more early on you are in your bodybuilding, the more you need your handheld.
Yeah, that's
so I just want good eyes. I don't give a fuck about really anything apart from good eyes. The best preps I've had is where this, when it's rather than there being a lot of information, it was more just a very concise direction. So you need to eat or you need to come down.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. The gear is irrelevant. That's kind of like, you're going to take what you take, you know?
Yeah, just to take the second guessing away type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like you said, as you get closer to a show and your head starts to play tricks, you look in the mirror and you're like,
yeah. Amph usually knows it because he'll like crack a joke and I'll be like, no.
Yeah, I'm not taking jokes right now. Not for the next 6 weeks.
Please enter jokes in 3 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I remember you with the Arnold down, your back was fucking. You just like, I was trying to like make you relax. You just stormed off. I was like, we'll just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny.
I know. I stormed off and waited for you in the disabled toilet.
I think also like it depends how long have you competing for as well. Like in regards to like how stressful do you find the whole situation? How much do you care about it feeling stressful? Does stress bother you? Blah blah blah.
So I find people.
Have you ever coached anybody? Like I know you give advice to a lot of people and stuff. And have you actually fully? I don't think you'd have the patience to coach anybody. Would you just tell them fucking straight? Shut the fuck up. Eat your food and get on the treadmill. Which I kind of like that approach anyway, to be honest. Oh, I think Leroy's froze for some reason.
We lost him.
I'm here.
Sorry, he's
was that to me, mate? Was that to me?
Yeah. Have you ever actually fully coached anybody? I know you've give advice to a few people and you've had a look at people and all that kind of stuff.
No.
I don't think you'd have the patience, would you? Unfortunately,
no. I would have the patience. It's just down here in Birmingham. It's a hard life down here. Oh, get my cap off. It's a hard life. I have to work for a living, so I ain't got time to coach anybody and all that. And there's never been anybody within close distance to me that's worthy of coaching. If you understand that, it's just not.
You prefer like the one-on-one kind of meet up, and I know when you PT somebody, Leroy likes to actually train with the person as well because he says you can't do the count numbers and stuff. And
I prefer that too.
Yeah,
personally.
And if I was to coach somebody, it wouldn't be online. It would be, are you here next week? I'm having a look at you. We're training together. It's this. I haven't got the IT skills as well to do the sort of long distance online coaching and whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's all just a bit fucking.
I mean, now the thing with the coach thing now is that now coaches cunt off other coaches to tell you to fuck their coach off and stuff, and that's a new level of low as far as
happens all the time. Happens at the pro level, amateur level, female, male, fucking. It's just the poison of the industry.
If your selling point is saying someone else's shit,
they fucked up your peak. I know I could do a better job.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it happens a lot, man.
Yeah. On a totally different one, otherwise we're going to ruin our agenda, and I know we're getting close.
Yeah, we fucking we're being on a while now. James has got people to kill online.
Yeah,
no. I've killed everybody online.
I wanted to just quickly run over the new pros from the UK. Just 3 that came to my mind, which was obviously Connor, who we saw in your gym.
Yeah, I like Connor a lot. His online persona is quite funny because people kind of think he's a certain way, but I think he's a really genuine good bloke.
It's like a lot of people in real life, like his sound. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've spoken to him a few times online. I didn't know it was him. When you don't recognize somebody in person,
Yeah,
probably seems like an ignorant fucker because I was like, I said, Dan, he's good physique. Oh, of course. Oh shit, is that who it is? I didn't know it was him.
Yeah. He's well, all right. He's a lump. He's a big lump.
Yeah, he's fucking. In real life, he's even more freaky for sure.
Yeah. He's got this height as well, isn't he?
Yeah. So that was good.
Born and bred in the same area as me, bro. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
From the fucking area, isn't he?
From the ends. From the ends. And then we had Andy Scott.
Yeah.
Who I've met a few times on stage.
He's a big chap.
He is a big chap, yes. Yeah. And you put him
through. Yeah, Andy's a lot bigger in person. He last time he came out like for a PT session.
Yeah, he's big.
The guy trains fucking hard as well. But yeah, he's a big old lumpy, big old fucking legs and stuff on him. Yeah. He looks a lot bigger in person than he does on pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've only met Andy on stage. I haven't met him. I haven't trained with him, unfortunately. And then Jack Richardson was the other one, the young kid who did a cartwheel on stage.
Yeah, and he did the Prague, which I thought was good. I think you had a lot of people being like, "Oh, why would you buy?" Like, yeah, I had a lot of people being like really knobby about it. I'm like, the dude just turned pro. Why not just get his feet wet?
Mate, he got really excited. He was like an excited.
Yeah, I loved it. It's like reason.
And he fucking just did it. Like I rated that, to be honest.
He had a good structure as well, actually. Really good structure.
Yeah, he's pretty balanced, isn't he?
I think for future, I think we're in a good place. Yeah. With our bodybuilders at the moment, providing they're sort of managed and nurtured right. We are in a good place. We've got some good lads, real good lads and real good physiques.
Yeah,
that are coming through. I mean, even looking through those pictures you sent, Dan, there's potential. There's a lot of potential there, and I believe it's because they're fucking. I believe in my heart that they're fucking training hard and they're training everything.
Yeah, these boys do. The three we've mentioned there are all like. I know Jack's from like Strength Asylum. He's kind of been around the right people. Connor's obviously been around where I was from. He kind of like one of. Don't mean to say it, but like he's kind of watched my training, and I've kind of helped him a little bit with training in the past. Not to a degree of like personally saying it, but I know he's watched training and emulated a lot of it and built his own physique out of it. And he's fucking wild. And then Andy's very knowledgeable, hard, strong trainer. So like, these three have kind of earned their physiques and definitely deserve to be pros. It wasn't like
definitely.
Is it a coincidence that they all train relatively heavy and hard and don't do any weird fucking that shit that you see online nowadays?
They just bought like Connor and that. They barbell row. They fucking
success leaves clues, man. Success leaves clues.
Draw the line of best fit as you see it. It doesn't need to be an argument. I don't need to see a study. I'm studying, and I'm seeing it. Yeah. And then the other thing,
the results speak for themselves.
Well, yeah, but science. Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off, Dan.
And then I was gonna talk about 2025 up and comers. There was that Dan kid that I saw at your gym who's about 12 and is enormous.
Yeah, he's and he's strong as fuck.
Yeah, well, he looks strong as fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't actually speak to him or anything, but I heard that you're rating him for next year.
Yeah, I think if he gets peeled, looking at his physique, the only thing I think that's slightly behind, being honest, is his lats. But that's kind of just because the rest of him's so extreme, his chest and shoulders and triceps and biceps are wild. So everyone's gonna have something that needs a little bit of initial work. But if he was peeled inside out, he's definitely got enough muscle everywhere to be a professional, before long, if he does it. It's just, can he get that lean first time round? Second time round, because I think he's only done one show, because he's got that young fat.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how much muscle he's got when he comes down. But he's strong, so he should have a lot of muscle because he moves a lot of weight. So yeah, I think he'll be. I can't see him not being a professional. 212.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You do sometimes often need a couple of goes at getting shredded, because if you've carried around that body fat your entire life,
sure,
that first dip in,
that shit's accumulated forever.
It sucks. Yeah. And then every time you touch in a bit deeper, it's a little bit easier. And then once you're on a run of things, you've held that fat for a year max, really.
Exactly. So that's why I think maybe if it might be a little bit tougher for him to get the body fat down to that super competitive level. But once he does, I just don't think there's many people who'll be able to stand next to him.
And then who was the other guy? Heck Rules, who went again.
Yeah, Dave, I think he's just a bit tired.
He did look like it was not playing in his final show as much as it had.
Yeah. I think his legs need to be bigger because he's got shoulders that are pretty wide. Thing with Nath, he's got a little bit of a bigger midsection. and he's a really good friend of mine. He's like one of my good friends. Midsection's a little bit bigger than most people say. He can't afford for the legs to be down from the prep. And I think this cardio, he doesn't normally do much cardio, but because he hasn't done much cardio, I don't think he's ever got his legs as detailed as they could be. And because he did the cardio this year, his legs are clearly not as big as he believed, or I believed. He still needs, so ultimately, the bottom line is he needs more muscle in his lower body, and more on the arms, really, to be fair. So a couple of places. The limbs, really, because he's quite thick in the middle. He's got a big back, big
he's
chest.
Tall,
yeah, he's got a big old butt, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's the same height as me.
Yeah, so
he's a big guy. He wears the same size clothes as me, and I'm like fucking 30 pounds heavier than him. So he's got a lot of size.
Yeah. If you're taller, it's usually the limbs, isn't it?
Yes. He's just got a limb thing that he needs to sort out. And I think it'll happen. I think he's just got to like kind of just be pretty precise with his training.
And then in the total reverse, Nick Elliott.
Nick's got like crazy quads and then good arms, but then quite narrow clavicles.
Yeah. That is kind of like which makes him look super freaky because it's like the amount of muscle to grow any width. It's like, well, I personally like his physique because it looks fucking stupid. Like it looks.
I feel like that. Yeah, I relate to Nick more than like Nate for me personally because I know that my quads when they were the best of full, and I know that my clavicles aren't overly wide, so I kind of relate to Nick, and it's kind of a tough position to be in because it's very hard to make yourself actually wider. Yeah, like people like just slap more muscle in your shoulders, but if you actually look at someone's shoulder who's not wide, they've still got fucking big actual delts. It's just bone width as well. Like it's just not there. So I don't know.
But anyway, that's the guy who won the Ultraflex Open with the big quads, Nick.
Yeah.
That's the guy that you're talking about.
It's great.
You know what? I wanted to reach out to Nick because I see some of his posts. He's a great bodybuilder, and the only reason I think I was never a good poser or anything, but yeah, I didn't have the best structure. I had quite narrow clavicles, and I didn't have the tiniest of waist. So I was always decent at like adjusting poses and stuff to kind of hide things. And I think he does expose himself a little bit in some shots. Like he'll do like a most muscular lean back rather than lean forward. And but again, I didn't want to like
little things like you've helped me with.
Some fucking advice, like fucking But yeah, that's the only thing I'll be like give anybody pause on advice because I had to kind of work shit out as well because I ain't the most genetically gifted structure in the world. So
you've helped me as well.
Yeah,
we've done some, with most musculars and stuff.
And then the other guy who for me is freaky as fuck is Barmer.
Yeah.
What the white chap? Used to who does he work with? He's
with Cuba now, I think.
Yeah, he's really dry.
Really dry.
Freaky PCA he was PCA.
Yeah, like massive legs, like not that tall, but just a freak.
He's got that tash in there, yeah.
Yes,
he's good.
Bit of the tash.
He clearly trains hard. The physique on him.
I mean, I don't know whether he said he might do PCA again. I mean, fair play, I guess but he's definitely a pro.
He looks like he trains hard.
In the mix. Yeah, I haven't seen that much of his training, but I've just
probably too focused training, so he doesn't film it, which is good.
Yeah, which is
fun. I saw that Rob Taylor's going to do a PCA show. Is that right? I don't know.
Surely not. Like I love Rob, so don't do that, Rob. You're above you're above going like not saying you're above.
I'm sure I saw something.
I mean, you're a pro, so you can do pro shows, and even with the injury you had, you're still good. I think.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to do the PCA Saxon or something that comes to mind. I don't know where I saw that on Instagram or something.
He should just guest pose and then do a show because he's good.
Yeah, but he's got the full detachment, hasn't he? They didn't repin it. No,
oh, they actually.
I think he got it attached. I spoke to Rob at the show. Actually, she's pretty much the same as me. He said like where mine's at now, he can't like get full extension of his arm, and he says like it just feels a bit smaller and a bit. So yeah, I think once you pop a tricep pulley, it's never going to be. Well, unless you branch one, because Branch said his. Yeah, Branch said his both healed back better than ever. Like fuck, like.
Yeah. Well, I think Branch's mind is what just like it just breaks reality.
Yeah.
Branch was just like, "Shut up, man, fix."
And there's something about the way that like, I think he's just so Brazilian, isn't it? Like, just if it seems like
nothing. Achilles, hasn't he, or something? I saw that.
Yeah, hunting. I think.
Probably going to be leg pressing in front.
You see that picture of all his ankle are open.
Oh yeah. Have you seen how they do like sew an Achilles? It's like fucking origami. Like it's.
I know, but it's a thick old thing.
Yeah, because they have to like. They practice on celery.
Oh.
I don't know how.
It's about the same width, isn't it? Yeah.
Down this like rabbit hole. Well, because the celery is the string of the fibers, isn't it? So it's the way they like bind it to then stitch it in, and like, mate, it's fucking. Ugh.
Might look at that later. Might go online.
Check that out. Celery Achilles. Oh, that's probably not what it's called, but yeah.
I bet that's been searched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ChatGPT. I want to do it now on ChatGPT.
And then so that was the other thing, ones to watch. Obviously, there's this really old man called Dan McNabb. It's coming back in 2015 here.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Like,
Dan, come on. It's about time he got this pro.
get on a fucking Zimmer frame.
Stand the man. Stand the man.
Well, if it's not now, it's fucking never, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I've got a good feeling about next year, Dan. I've got a good feeling about it. So
We shall
let's get
see.
this shit done, man. Let's finish the race, Dan. Let's finish the race.
It's one of those it's one of those things where I'm at the kind of the thing, and I don't know whether I'm about to get worse.
No, that's
keep
pathetic
going,
mindset. That I'll fucking delete you off my WhatsApp if you see shit like that.
It's like Holland says I'm doing it. It's logged in.
Yeah, just
I'll do more. It's been locked in for 10 years. Like, so
you're the same as James, right? Listen, it's all there. He's got to keep the head straight. That's it. That's the hardest bit. Feeling and eating food's fucking easy. It's just keeping the old
send Xanax.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to have a bit of whiskey, because I thought, you know what, if I can keep my head straight, whiskey will do that. So I've got some black still bourbon.
Oh yeah, you're in prep, James, aren't you?
Yeah, man, I'm like 20.
Stefan to see if he can have some whiskey.
I might ask him.
Supposedly LeBron used to have a bottle of JD a day.
Well,
that's what Taylor told me. I don't know if there's any truth to it.
If there's anyone that would be like, I don't mind you having a drink, I guarantee it's fucking Stefan. I can just imagine now. He probably, because he likes a drink.
Yeah, just replace meal two's potatoes with some bourbon.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Well, I've got this fucking this whiskey in there bottle. Like, it's a limited edition. It's fucking Dan. I don't know if you know Dr. Disrespect, the fucking streamer. That's his one.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, fucking man, what a bit of that. And I don't even drink.
Get a craft over, James. Why not?
Just have a little whiskey.
Drink the full bottle then and go on Instagram Live.
Start speaking my mind.
Yeah, he's fucking gorgeous. Fuck you.
The thing is, if I did speak my mind, I know I'd probably be like famous, because you'd fucking you when you say something in absolute, you either get one team or the other. It's when you pussyfoot in the middle, like I do, trying to be nice to everybody, that you don't earn the audience, because I'm just not interested. But if you are just,
it's not about being nice, mate. You're just a respectful gentleman. That's all. I'm not kissing you. You're just respectful.
You know what I mean.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm just trying not to stir the boat.
But also, like, most of it is in the middle.
And that's the thing. The world wants you to be very left or right. And that's without getting to. I'm not a political person, but
divide and
conquer. I can feel it. I can feel it when I look at anything. It's like you either make a decision or you don't. You go one way or the other, or And like, no, I'm happy where I am. Thank you. Just
fuck off.
Right here in the middle, mate.
Leave me alone.
I hear the Ultraflex open is happening again.
Yes, it's
when should
August.
Start
let me get this right, because obviously the last one was a little bit rushed. We had a little bit of lack of competitors. Even though I thought the stand-up was pretty good, we needed more guys on stage. But August the 30th next year, guys, it is happening again. We'll be a little bit more prepared this time. Same event, same venue. Yeah, get it in the diary, guys. You got like 8 months to get shredded, basically.
Yeah. 4 more months of bulking.
And then McNabb, you are guest posing this time because he screamed out of it last time. Didn't he, Leroy? Yeah. Didn't he admit online that he was going to do it? And he opted to be backstage helper with Kev. So, yes, you've got no option.
Leroy's like, fuck this.
Leroy's batteries ran out, I think. I'm sure he said his battery was a bit low.
I think you're probably right. Well, I might be in mild shape by then. So, yeah.
Good.
Just don't.
You'd be in the middle.
James.
I don't even know what I'll be in that. So I'm doing, obviously I've got the Arnold and April. So my show's all like April. So when are you doing it all?
Yeah, you're doing Detroit, James, because I saw you post something where you're being a bit mysterious.
Yeah, I've signed up to it, yeah. Well, I haven't signed it yet, but I do. Might as well do it.
And the other one, which was FIBO. Is FIBO having a show again, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, open in Germany.
Been a while, hasn't it, FIBO?
ESN are there anyway, so I thought, I can make something good of it with them lot.
Why don't we take some scalps and collect a check?
Yeah, I want to. My aim is to win a pro show. Like not fucking about like Detroit. I want to win. That's what I'm going for, and it'd probably be a challenge because you're going to get someone who wishes to do it as well from after the Arnold. But fuck it, it's what it is. That's my show. I feel like it's my show.
Yeah.
I'm liking the outlook, James. I'm liking the attitude.
I need one of those.
Yeah, you two are both you two are quite similar. You kind of like don't realize how good you are, really. So without sounding like gay boy kiss ass, but that's a good thing in a way. At least you're not dancing around like a fucking cockle saying, "Hey, I'm great," whatever. But
I think the reason is, again, the reason that I don't necessarily always feel that way is because I'm just, again, it's just unfortunately just not around other people that are like it.
Yeah,
it's just far and few. I just if there was like a few good men in a location, it'd be fucking so much easier to be like positive. It's just because half the time you end up just looking at a bunch of knobs. Unfortunately, that's true. I just look at people that are self-entitled and act like they've won fucking Olympia and they've never done anything, and then it just wears you out a little bit.
It disassociates me from what I love when I see that. It's like, well, me being more involved, does it make me more like that? Because that's not what I signed up for. It's weird.
Just got to do what Amp says. You got to lift the weights and eat the meals.
Fucking weights.
Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I sound like a fucking knobhead at times, but because I know what it's like. But literally, all that other wishy-wash craziness in your head is created by you. It's like
yes, it
just
is.
block all that shit out, and then just really all you're doing is like cardio, eating meals, training, go sleep.
Me and Dan need a lobotomy.
There's a little bit of like real life in the middle of it, but
we just need to be brought back to being monged and just lift weights.
I'd have so many more friends if I had no frontal lobe.
Exactly. Oh.
What are you doing for Christmas? What are you doing for Christmas, James?
Yannika's parents are coming over like tomorrow, I think, for the Christmas period. So that's cool. So I've got some family.
Are you allowed a Christmas dinner?
I haven't even asked. I'm checking in tomorrow with Big Stefan, so I'll see what he says.
Maybe save the whiskey till then.
Oh, mate,
the pictures that you sent me, James, you look pretty.
You're right. They're about right
at this point. How many weeks is it now?
About 10 now.
Yeah, you only need like 4 weeks to get in shape now.
Mate, you kept it tight as fuck this time, didn't you? Really?
I didn't get too fat. Really like.
I mean, not that you ever did. To be fair, but
don't know. My legs pretty fat right now. Let me have a little. I've got shit lying in here.
Come on, let's have a look, lads.
Too washed out.
21 days, he's ready. Get on the whiskey.
Yeah, I'm not holding loads of fat. I'm like 288, and I reckon like I don't know really. I'm not going to talk about fucking body weight, but yeah, this is a good 288. I came down from 312 maximum weight, so it's quite a lot off.
Shit.
James, you could say it anywhere. Nobody knows. You know, I put say, he's like 285. You could say, yeah, I'm 297, and like nobody would know, would they? Like this is bullshit.
Yeah, like I say, just on an honest level, just me gauging where what condition starts to come through. Once I get below that 280, it's kind of like game on.
So what did you do to come down? That must have been quite easy, no?
Yeah, bro, literally just pulled my carbohydrate down by 100 potato per meal, so 20 grams of carbs off of a few meals, and then after a couple of weeks, 20 micrograms of hypothetic clenbuterol, and that's it. So like, I haven't changed fuck all really. I don't do much cardio. I do 20 minutes on the bike every day, but I always do that.
Had you started a hypothetical cycle earlier than this?
I was my off-season hypothetical cycle was just masteron and testosterone, and then with the introduction of a small amount of trenbolone at the beginning of which is quite early for me. I'm not normally that guy, but it's the way that we're doing it. Me personally, hypothetically, I would put trenbolone in like 6 weeks out for somebody, like if I was doing this. But this is the way it's been done, so I'm just doing it.
Hey,
so for my brain turns to mush.
I've got a feeling that Stefan's going to put in some HMB and Tribulus near the end.
Fucking trib, just to bring a bit of Tribulus to get my balls working again. Get my natural test up, and a bit of D-aspartic acid.
Yeah, I've been hyperdosing that. That's the new one, hyperdose. I'm on hyperdose.
It's like
please
hyperdose is when that's going to be not double dose. It's when you triple dose.
Oh. Yeah, it's like a shot. It's like a dose every hour of Tribulus.
Yeah, that's where we're at. So it's pretty interesting. I'm again not really doing anything crazy.
10 weeks. Let's fucking go.
10 weeks. Training's all right. Just doing keeping it real simple. Like, I know this is boring stuff, but just doing like chest and shoulders together. Then I do like a back and rear delts. Then I do a rest day. Then I do an arm with shoulders, just some extra shoulder stuff. And then I do legs and then a rest day again. That's it. So it's a 4-day split with
Wasn't it Steve Avery who said the most boring man wins?
Oh, mate, yeah.
Pretty sure it was Steve. Yeah, it'd be boring as fuck, man. That's the guy who wins.
I assume any of us when we were our most boring is probably when we did best in our bodybuilding. That's why I made this room, because I was like, if I can have this as a stationary, what's the word? A consistent. If this can be a consistency in my time for the next however many weeks, and this place just is the same place, same thing every day, everything else is the same, then you're boring and it should work.
Base camp.
Base camp.
Action happens.
This is it, bro. Base camp. Got some medals up and stuff just to kind of motivate and yeah. That's it.
I'll be sending you some WhatsApp kind of Instagram motivational quotes and stuff over the next few weeks, James. Just to keep you on your toes.
He does to a degree, but maybe
send the bro fist.
Keep it up, Kitty.
Yeah, I'll just keep sending blood and guts every day. I'll just keep sending.
Just send me pictures, videos of Dorian doing leg press screaming.
But you actually did do that. I can't remember how long you kept it up for, but you're like, I'm going to do it for 2 weeks, and you actually did every day. So it's fair play.
Yeah, I always like the one where Dorian's like, I'll stand it all fucking day if you want me to. Fucking, makes me want to just go and fucking load 5 plates on each side of the incline press, and I realize I've got one arm.
I'm still falling out with legs, but I still want to get. I would love.
Mate, honestly, the old shit still gets me fired up. I said this to Dan, and no disrespect for anybody on Instagram and stuff now, but I just get very bored with all the training.
It's all the talking. It's all the talking as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like when you kind of got watching someone in the training and they're talking, I just want to see someone fucking rip shit up. But but I understand everybody's got obligations with contracts and stuff.
Blood and Guts is still #1 training video of all time.
Yeah. The great thing about Blood and Guts is they took out all the talking.
Yeah, no one was interested in anything other than seeing the grind, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt there was much talking anyway, but they just basically fast forwarded through a whole week, and it was just a fly on the wall.
And the good thing is, how long is that whole DVD, like video in general?
An hour or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's a perfect Christmas present for anybody who ain't got it. To be fair,
absolutely.
Well, Dawes says he might release.
Might do a color one. I think it won't feel the same because I think the pink. Once the pink.
Yeah, I would still buy it though. Would you still buy it?
I would, but I'll be watching a set and I'll be like, it'll be going, oh, and he's wearing a pink t-shirt. And I'll be like,
yeah. Was you were saying like if it's in color, like the
fluorescent,
some colors. Like I wonder what they.
It'd be nice just for the quality, because obviously the crispness of the colourful picture, just to see like Temple Gym and the wood paneling and stuff, like in its true wooden coloured form.
Do you not think it would look a little bit like World War II in colour? Like
probably.
The colouring would be terrible.
It'll look like crazy, like a skit from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Like, with one, and then it should be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, then
that was a fucking rhythm.
It was sick. I don't know if it was exactly like that, but it was something like that.
It was definitely that. I was back there.
Hey guys, we've been on 2 hours, you know. Sorry for keeping on so long.
I'm gonna go and eat then. Fuck you too.
Yeah, get some food in you and get some people killed online, James. And
I'm just gonna have some. I'm gonna chill for a bit. Put some salmon in now. I'm gonna have some salmon. I'm hungry. But yeah, lovely chat today, guys.
Yeah,
salmon and whiskey. Yeah, appreciate you guys, and like anyone that listens, I say take a note of things we said today. We're not saying it to be cunts. We're saying it to be genuine. So enjoy.
Enjoy, man. Yeah. All right, Merry Christmas to you.
All right, have a good Christmas, gents. No doubt I'll speak soon. And take it easy, man.
Peace out.
Over and out.